Good morning to your feel-good breakfast show. Time to wake up and start a brand new day. It's the middle of the week. It's Wednesday, the 13th of February, 2019. I'm Ewan Stratham, and this is Zoe Brown. ZBZ Brown.
Can you believe it's already the 13th of Feb? I mean, the month of February is just flying by. January, we're not going to talk about that. But of course, we have a fun show ahead for you.
Absolutely. But I do think that February is flying by purely because January was so long. And now we get to experience the nice and short month, and it's the month of love. So I do hope that your Valentine's Day plans are in order. Who knows? Princess, good morning. Good
He's
morning.
one of those people that calls it the month of love.
It is the month of love. It's the month of love, and it shall be the month of love up until we finish off this month of love. Princess, so nice of a coffee. Listen, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to have a fun show, like Zoe said. We have a packed show. We have some awesome guests as well that are going to be introducing to you in just a little bit, so stick around for that. Right now, let's catch up with Leanne.
Wait, can we show people? Princess even made a heart in her coffee.
It's the month of love, right, Zoe? It's the month of love.
It's the month of hearts, reds, and roses. There you go.
Thank you.
That's yours.
Good morning, Leanne and Saviso.
Okay. Today is clearly amazing day for Miss Williams.
Thank you. I think you need to just reflect on yourself as well. You're looking pretty good.
Thank you.
Loving this tea.
Yeah,
This is a little different.
These are very, very much my style. I found that Woolies have come out with these in all sorts of different colors, and there's something about them. Golf t-shirts, if you haven't got like big muscle arms, like most guys here on the show do. Most, I mean Ewan.
The one person.
The one person.
Yeah.
Golf shirts are probably not like your favorite thing because then they expose that you've got little arms, which you know.
Your arms aren't bad.
Okay.
They're not great, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But they're like a solid 7. 7 is good.
That's what I love about this time of the morning is one is so brutally honest about yourself.
I thought I was being nice.
You know what? Towards the end of the day, you can lie.
Yeah.
Right.
And be like all for the Instagram, but at this time of the morning, you're honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I like these golf shirts.
Yeah,
Listen,
they're pretty good.
Black is best. When in doubt, go black. You can never go wrong with a black ensemble. You don't even need to really talk about it. Like, black is slimming. It normally looks good on everyone.
Yes.
It's instant sophistication. Even if you're at the office, like this Raptor sleeve, stunning. You could wear this to absolutely every single occasion possible. The length is just right. You're showing leg, but you're not showing all the leg. Leaving something to the imagination, because it's Valentine's Day. We're all looking for someone.
To imagine or what?
What?
You said leaving something for the imagination.
Leaving something to the imagination, because imagine this was hiked up,
then no one's got nothing to look forward to.
Then you're like, happy Valentine's Day, I love you, goodbye. There's nothing.
Do you know what I love about it as well is there's this little, because when you wrap it, one ends here, so there's a different kind of texture and variation and kind of layering.
Totally.
And then I really love the deep V that it forms. It's incredibly sexy. It draws your eye towards where you want things to go, towards the waist. It draws your eye towards the waist.
Okay.
And naturally, depending on how much you want, you can cinch this in and just show off the waist. And,
it's beautiful, and the material's light, it's airy for
light,
summer. And I love a golf shirt.
And I love the sleeves.
A golf shirt was reinvented. It used to be sort of like the dorky, preppy. It was good like early on, then it got bad, and now it's the last like 3 or 4 years, it's really seen like an uptake. But in black as well, girl.
Exactly.
Looks good. Looks really good. Should we give the temperatures? Okay, so if you're going to be out and about today and not in your house, you want to know exactly what to wear and what the temperature looks like. We start off in Johannesburg. It's going to be cloudy today. Mainly cloudy conditions with a shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon and evening. Little to no wind. Temperatures will fluctuate throughout the day, and rain is expected for the remainder of the week. And if you are in Durban, listen to this. It's mostly cloudy with a couple of morning thunderstorms around and then a thunderstorm in spots. Humid conditions as always in Durban with an increase in cloud cover towards the evening. Occasional rain and drizzle in the evening as well. Be prepared for rain today, Durban. And if you are in Port Elizabeth, it's sunny conditions with pleasantly warm temperatures today. Beautiful. Sky will remain clear for the whole duration of the day, and a southwesterly breeze that dies down towards the evening is to be expected. Humidity will increase towards the evening, allowing for a nice and warm sunset. And finally, if you're in Cape Town, the mother city, windy conditions with plenty of sunshine today. Yes, temperatures will peak midday and they'll remain steady afterwards. Humidity decreases due to the strong wind gust. Hold on to your hats and your dresses if you're wearing one.
That's a good tidbit for me.
I've learned the hard way to hold on to my dress.
So have I.
Yeah, I wonder what's happening in the kitchen though. Hey guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Mango Groove's Claire Johnson, everyone. Yes, she is here. Come, give me a big old. Good to see you,
Lovely to see you.
Welcome back. Thank you very much. It's a very special occasion that we welcome you back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show because you're celebrating your 30th anniversary.
The 30th anniversary of the release of the very first Mango Groove album, which is unbelievable to us, actually.
That is incredible, man.
Yeah.
So what's going to be happening around that?
We're doing 2 shows at the Teatro at Monte Cassino on the 8th and 9th of March, and it's just going to be a full-on sort of Mango spectacular. Lots of, lovely production values and some surprises, and we're very excited.
Very excited. Can I just say the 8th of March is my birthday?
Oh, it's a good day.
It's a good day. It's a very good day. The best day. Listen, we are looking forward to what you're going to be doing on the show. What can we expect from you throughout the course of the morning?
Well, we'll
You're going to perform
see.
for us just a little bit, baby?
We'll get rid of the frogs in the throat, and anything could happen.
Okay, we like that. We like that. Anything could happen. Just quickly, while I have you here, you guys have such an incredible career. You've done amazing things. Is there one thing that you can highlight and say this was a momentous moment for me?
I actually can, because it's a moment that was more than music. It was the time we performed at the 1994 inauguration of President Nelson Mandela, where it was just, everything came together. It was the perfect day. There was the flyover, there was the flag, there was the satellite-linked concert all around the world, and a sense of infinite possibility. So for me, that's probably the ultimate so far.
Look at this. You give me goosebumps just listening to that. That is incredible.
Awesome.
Claire, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
We cannot wait to find out a little bit more as to what's going to be happening with that concert as well on the 8th and 9th of March, I'm just saying. And
thank you for that.
and we're going to be chatting. We've got her the whole morning. Claire Johnson from Mango Groove, everyone.
Thank you.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Absolutely loving it.
50 years is absolutely incredible.
Insane in the membrane. What's going on?
Listen, I'm gonna do a couple beauty hacks. Because I think it's nice to know easy to use, really like time efficient ways to go about doing some beauty tips. So number 1, I'm talking about the nail polish. So apparently you girls can attest to this probably. I hope so. Otherwise you're gonna discredit me completely. After you polish your nails, dunk your hands in a bucket of ice water to help your nail varnish dry instantly. Have you done that?
I haven't done that.
That is apparently tried and tested.
That is a hack, a nail hack.
A nail hack. So immediately polish in, and it helps it dry that much faster. And
That sounds really good because I've grown tired of like pulling my female friends and they're out doing their nails and it's a whole day operation. We can't go out, we can't have lunch, you can't do anything.
It is, it's a big thing.
Well, stick them in a thing of ice.
Yeah, try it.
No need to go through the whole day now.
No, yeah. Okay, this one I think is really, really interesting. So, a lot of times you want to plump up the hair and make it seem a bit more, either maybe a darker shade or fuller. In your hairline, if you match an eyeshadow to your hair color and down the center part, have you ever done this? Either with a brush or your finger, dab, 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 to make it appear like you've got more hair in the line as well. So it actually like plumps up.
Especially for maybe thinning hairlines as
100%.
well. You just want to create a sense of fullness.
Yes.
I've heard of that.
So you have heard of that?
Yes.
I think that's quite interesting, actually.
That's really cool.
Right?
And like you said, choose a color that's close to your hair.
Yeah, so like I wouldn't
black
do
hair
pink.
And like pink.
No. And if you're colorblind, I'm sorry.
And also just, I suppose, make sure you're not walking in the rain because then that just goes south.
Oh, that's a good one. That's embarrassing. And last one, okay, I don't know about this one either, but a girlfriend of mine told me it has worked. To make your lips appear plumper, if you dab a bit of concealer in sort of the middle parts of your lips first, before you put on your gloss, and then you dab out just in this middle area, cover with the gloss, apparently gives you that fuller lip look where you need it, in sort of the arches and down to the middle.
I would like to see you do that because you need a fuller lip
But he needs his
That is
shade.
so mean. I struggle with sensitive small lips.
No, like
you
should try your own
I
hack.
deal with.
Nick's gonna try that and get back to us and report on how full his lips are. But should we get into some entertainment news? I think everybody is on royal baby watch. It's been reported that the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, will be giving birth a lot earlier than we presumed, early April. And I gotta tell you, the world is in a frenzy right now. It's reached a fever pitch on how interested and how fascinated and how crazy people are about the royals, in particular Meghan her ensuing birth and Prince Harry. Now, we all know that they've made that documentary, Meghan and Harry, A Royal Romance. They're coming out with a second one, and it's called Harry and Meghan Becoming Royal, which is going to focus on their first year of marriage, according to Lifetime, and pull back the curtain to reveal the untold joys and challenges of life inside the royal family. And the film is set to release later this year, with new actors being brought on board to play the titular roles. But I don't know, I just feel so sad for Meghan right now. I mean, she's approaching giving birth, and the whole issue around her dad, who made the very private letter that she wrote to him public, just for media attention, probably for money as well. Her half-sister, who's coming out with a book called Princess Pushy. And I just thought to myself, you know what? People are... It reminds me of Diana all over again, and how everyone went after her. And I just wanted to have a beautiful life. She deserves that much.
Yeah, so. No, it's absolutely crazy. And I think that there's a total obsession with the royal family. And I suppose you have a documentary like that, it hopefully sort of simmers everything and everyone down a little bit, and they can leave you alone, because now they've got the answers. Will that happen? Maybe not. We don't know.
Talking about royalty.
So, tell us about that.
A street rat that became a prince. Aladdin is coming out very, very soon. We cannot wait for it. However, the internet is not happy.
Okay, why not?
With Will Smith's character of the genie, and the fact that is it because he's blue?
I think he looks like an avatar that's not ripped.
I know. It's just weird to see Will Smith looking like Genie. And I always knew he was going to be blue, because he warned us from the beginning. He's like, guys, I'm going to be blue. Yeah. However, I don't know.
So you're not feeling it?
I'm not feeling it. Yeah. I'm not feeling it. So why don't you take a look at this?
Don't know who I am. Genie, wishes, lamb, none of that ringing a bell.
What do you think?
Okay, I know, I can totally see why people aren't sure. The quality of the animation for me is a bit dodgy, and I'm not sure.
It's crazy, and you know, the thing is, they're following the way the animation was. So it's telling the story like we saw it in the actual animated version of it. This is a live action film. My problem with this is you have to get it right.
Yes.
Because you've had a lot of time. No one was rushing you.
There's no time constraint.
Exactly. It wasn't like Aladdin was going to go anywhere. So if you don't do the most and make it as amazing as it could be, you could be disappointing a lot of people that grew up with Aladdin, man.
It's actually quite sad, because we do love Aladdin, and now we've got this trailer that's already put us off before the movie comes out.
Do you remember that song? You ain't never had a friend, never had a friend. You ain't never had a friend. I'm gonna go to the news.
Okay, well, Zoe, on that note, you probably have a quote of the day for us.
Yes, we do. And I mean, the guys and the guys from BTS, they've certainly been making an impact in the world of music. So I've got a quote here from one of their most successful songs, Spring Day. It is, "The morning will come again, no darkness, no season is eternal." And I think those are some much needed lyrics from their song that most people would need. So the morning will come again, no darkness, no season is eternal. So I think a lot of people often find themselves in a situation where you feel like there's no end to it, but the sun will rise again. Yeah. Darkness will fade.
And I think it's that mindset of just keeping in mind that whatever it is that you're going through, on the other end, it's beautiful, bright, and sunny, and sunshiny, and we get over anything and any situation. It doesn't ever last forever. Well, listen, we've got a fantastic show lined up for you. Lots on the go. We're going to have some news now coming through, some sports, we've got some weather, we've got traffic, we've got amazing things happening in the kitchen. Where else would you rather be? You have chosen to wake up on the right side of bed. Let's get this show started.
I step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today.
very big welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Time for us to get you caught up on what's happening in your national news. South Africa's unemployment remains one of the highest in the world, despite some improvement in the fourth quarter of 2018. Statistics South Africa says there were 6.1 million people without jobs in the 3 months to the end of December 2018. A new automated shark detection project aimed at developing a low-cost computer-aided shark vision detection algorithm to be used on fixed cameras above Cape Town's beaches has been launched. The City of Cape Town announced this yesterday. On the international front, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres says Africa has set an example to the rest of the world in terms of peace and conflict resolution. Guterres was speaking at the African Union Summit in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. British Foreign Minister Jeremy Hunt said yesterday that it was still possible to get a Brexit deal by March the 29th when Britain leaves the European Union, describing a real hunger to finalise the exit from the EU. And then finally, Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Education yesterday heard the good news that of the 3,051 pupils with special needs who wrote the National Senior Certificate exam last year, 1,669 received a bachelor's pass, and there was a total of 1,119 distinctions. And being bad with numbers does not mean that you cannot make it through school. Last year's matric exam results showed that 41 pupils with dyscalculia, a number processing disorder, received their National Senior Certificate. In the words of former top achiever in the special needs learner category, Joshua Chetty, saying special needs learners should not be chained by their disabilities and learn not to limit themselves. The class of 2018 did just that. Well, that was your 6 o'clock news headlines. Let's get our very first look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Ewan.
Thank you so much, Leanne. That's right. Let's quickly get a roundup of your sporting highlights. Now, last night, the Champions League last 16 got underway with Manchester United's first loss under Ole Gunnar. Kylian Mbappe rounding off the 2-0 win for PSG at Old Trafford. In Rome, Roma got the first leg advantage over Porto 2-1. And tonight, Tottenham will be eyeing young Jadon Sancho as the danger man as they entertain Borussia Dortmund, while Real Madrid will be eyeing a fourth consecutive Champions League title when they take on Ajax. And then in the CAF Champions League, Mamelodi Sundowns remain second in Group A after a goalless draw away to ASEC Mimosas yesterday. Suffering their first defeat, Orlando Pirates were replaced at the summit of Group B by Esperance de Tunis, suffering a 2-0 loss to the Blood and Gold. Both South African teams can look forward to home advantage when the competition resumes in March. And then cricket news ahead of the first of 2 tests against Sri Lanka starting at Kingsmead in Durban today. Proteas captain Faf du Plessis says they'll be seeking to find Sri Lanka's breaking point as early as possible. Expecting a slow wicket, he also pointed towards the inclusion of left-arm spinner Keshav Maharaj and the surprise possibility of 20-year-old Vian Miller getting a test debut. That's where we leave your sport for now. We'll expand on those sports stories at the top of the hour. Right now, let's get a first full look at your weather and your temperatures.
Thank you, Ewan. And before we get into those temperatures, let's take a look at the beautiful sunrise photos coming through. We received this gorgeous sunrise from Durban. This one was sent in by Sibusiso. Thank you for that. Today you can expect cloudy conditions with a thunderstorm in the path, reaching a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius. But on that note, let's look at the rest of the temperatures. Polokwane, your minimum for today, it is 20, your maximum 30. Mbombela 21 with a high of 29. Pretoria 18.25. Johannesburg 16.23, Mahikeng 19, reaching a high of 26. Klerksdorp 18.25, Kimberley 19, reaching a high of 30. Bloemfontein 15.28, partly cloudy conditions in Richards Bay, a high of 26. Pietermaritzburg 18.24, Durban 23, reaching a high of 27. Mthatha 17.22, some rain is expected in East London 18 with a high of 24. Cloudy conditions in Cradock today, a high of 27 is expected. Port Elizabeth 16 reaching a high of 24. George 14, 22, Sutherland 13, reaching a high of 27, Cape Town sunny, a low of 16 with a high of 25, Worcester 13, reaching a high of 30, Springbok 19, 32, and Uppington 22 with a high of 37 degrees Celsius. If you have a beautiful sunrise photo that you'd love to share with us, feel free to do so on the Expresso Facebook page.
All right, so now that we've got the official duties underway and out of the way, it's time for us to take a quick break right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. After the break, it is Wednesday, and that means parenting advice. We've got Laura Markovich, who is our parenting expert, and we're talking about conflict at school and making friendships, encouraging those friendships now that the kids are hopefully settling in.
Exactly, and then we're going to take a look at the brand new dawn of performing arts in South Africa. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We'll be right back after this break.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to it. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show and the freshest breakfast show in the hood, Expresso, right here live on SABC3. All right, so today is World Radio Day, if you didn't know, and we've asked you on social media what you love about this medium of broadcasting that is radio. And a look at your comments that have come through. Diana Matsibe says, I love listening to radio, especially when the electricity is gone. Yes, that's a very good one. I suppose you don't need electricity for some of them. You can just plug in your batteries and go at it. Sabelo Mkiza says, good morning, fam. What I love about radio stations is when they play international music, that mix of good music. Yakubas Korki says, good morning. I love the radio because I can use my own imagination. For example, how it looks there and how the presenters are looking and how they're dressed. And radio is like reality. No makeup and no other cosmetic stuff. It's reality. And by the way, Zoe, I love you, my KFM presenter. That's from Yakubas. Why don't you let us know on social media? Remember to use the hashtag Expresso Show why you love radio.
All right, time for some parenting on your Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning. We're talking about conflict, and conflict in life is inevitable, and it's best to learn how to handle it than to avoid it. Now, this truth not only applies for adults, but for our children as well. And this morning, certified parent coach, she's back with us, Laura Markovitz. She's in studio to give us some advice on how parents can equip their children with good conflict resolution techniques. Very, very important. Hello, Laura.
Hello.
Love the dungarees. Very cool.
Thank you.
So we're talking about conflict resolution.
Yeah.
First and foremost, what does good conflict resolution look like, and why is it important for parents to really start engaging with their children on this topic?
So, I mean, obviously conflict's not something we gravitate towards. Most of us really kind of fear it, shy away from it. We don't like it. Exactly. But as you say, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
And the good news about conflict is conflict resolution, when it's handled well, is actually a potential for growth, learning. We can actually get somewhere with our relationships, with our friendships, if it's handled well. So you ask sort of what is good conflict resolution then? And I think conflict resolution is where it's respectful, where where there's space for each other's feelings to be heard, where there's good problem solving that can happen, and then there's also time for reflection and growth afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's something that is going to be out there. I think it's something that we can't avoid, and it's very much what our kids are seeing us do. You know, they're seeing us, they're seeing how we're resolving things on a daily basis. They're watching us, how we're speaking to people on the phone when we're having frustrating phone calls. So it's not necessarily something that we're sitting down and going, we are going to have the talk about conflict resolution. It's very much what we're role modeling and what we're doing out there.
It's once again by that whole leading by example comes into place, and you don't realize just a simple phone call, if you're going to lose it at some sales agents on the phone that you want to talk about it, your kids see that, and that's the kind of image that they get.
That's how you deal with things then.
Exactly. No, but yeah, that's the further, it couldn't be further from the truth how to go about it, but in their minds that's the right thing. What good tips can we give to our children?
So, you know, and as I said, it's a continuous thing, but things like teaching our children empathy, being able to understand the perspective of where someone is coming from, helping our kids separate out their feelings from their behavior. So for them to know it's okay for me to feel irritated, angry, disappointed from my friends, whatever feelings I'm feeling, but it's not okay to go and punch them in the face and knock them down necessarily. We've got to think about how I can separate out my feelings from my behavior.
Yeah.
A lovely thing to teach kids from an early age as well is I language, as opposed to you never do this, you make me feel this way, because as soon as we're doing that in conflict, it's brick wall stuff. I can't hear what you're saying. But if I'm able to use language from an I perspective, which is I'm feeling really upset about what happened yesterday at school, there's more room to be heard. So really thinking through problem solving, getting them to think through, as opposed to me jumping in, which is always really tempting as parents to give them the answers, but give kids the opportunity to go, sure, that sounds horrible what happened today at school. It sounds awful. What do you think happened? What do you think you could do differently? So for them to actually think through how they can problem solve things.
Absolutely, and of course this kind of thing you start by modeling that behavior from from when you get a kid, and then you start teaching them as they get older. Then you can start incorporating this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So from little, you know, I mean, obviously we're sitting with a tiny baby in our arms. They're not being exposed to a whole lot of conflict, hopefully. But as they get older, absolutely, we can be showing them how to be managing themselves better from a very early age.
Exactly, once they start mixing with other kids and things. And funny, I just had a discussion with a friend of mine last night about respect and how kids growing up, and there's conflict, and how you go about resolving that conflict. You still need to do it in a respectful manner to the other person.
You have to be doing it.
It is absolutely vital, and that is what we're also going to be touching on, especially also friends. If you don't think as a parent that one friend might be good for your kid, how do you go about sorting that one out? Laura's going to be back in just a little bit.
Well, we are outside. It is a gorgeous morning, and of course, time for us to play a game with you. It is our emoji charades game. So what's going to happen now is we're going to give you a couple of emojis with some clues, and you need to guess, is it a movie, is it a song, is it a series? whatever it is, those emojis and the clues should be enough for you to figure it out. So let's take a look at the emojis. So as you can see on your screen, we are looking for a song. There is the number 1, which means it's only one word, and there's the pregnant emoji.
Oh, the pregnant lady. All right, let's see. Here are some clues that might help you if the emojis are making much sense. All right. The song is by an award-winning recording artist from Johannesburg. The song was released in 2018, and your final clue is it reached number 1 on the Metro FM Top 40 chart this month.
Some great clues. I feel like it's a dead giveaway. So if you know the answer to our emoji charades game, why don't you head on over to social media? We're on Twitter as well as Facebook with that hashtag Expresso Show. Let us know the answer.
Get guessing. But in the meantime, we're going to take a break. And after the break, we're looking at a new dawn for the performing arts. A brand new musical theatre academy has opened up. And you get to find out what that means for everyone involved.
Oh, man, love it. And we saw a little bit of a snippet of it, and it looks impressive as well. And then we're also going to be catching up with one of our favourite comedians. We love her. She's blonde and she's funny. Her name is Dova Dola. She's going to be hanging out with us. And she's also part of a rather interesting initiative. We'll give you all those details after the break. Stick around.
One, two, two.
So sure I could never endure with my emotions intact. You've such a sense of your confidence in my obsession with you. I'd like to question those assumptions, but baby, it's true. Moments away from these arms, you'll always be moments away from it.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, right here on SABC3. So good to be hanging out with you. Thank you for tuning in. It is your Wednesday morning, the 13th of February. Hey, the love day is just around the corner. Anyways, right now, though, not talking about that.
No.
Now, earlier on, we spoke about exactly the importance of learning good conflict resolution techniques from a very early age. We're continuing that conversation right now with our certified parent coach, Laura Markovitz. Laura, thank you very much for being back. Yeah, we touched on the fact that it's important, obviously, for parents to model that good conflict resolution skills at home from an early age, and then slowly you start teaching it. And respect came into the mix as well. That's definitely one thing I think that we need to be focusing on and teaching our children. But just to recap quickly, what are some of the good conflict resolution kind of tips that parents can pass on to their children?
So just remembering to teach them things like empathy, seeing things from different perspectives, the eye language, all that sort of stuff. And then what we were talking about is the respect stuff as well. So from a really early age, you know, as soon as kids around 18 months are asserting their independence, mine, 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 that sort of stuff, well, then it starts going, well, I want to hold on to this tray and I'm not giving it to my friend. From then, we help to facilitate that kind of conflict.
Sharing.
It's going, hang on, let's count to 10, and then we're going to give it to John. So we help to facilitate them having to handle the disappointment of things not being the way that they want it to be, but to get through that stuff in a respectful way. So it starts
It starts
early
there.
days.
And the way you describe it, it sounds easy. But I do know that sometimes parents go like, just give it. Just give it. It's tough. I get it. It's fine if you lose it at some point. We also spoke about parents losing it at some point.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We can't do it all the time. But as long as some of the time, and hopefully most of the time, because that's a realistic expectation,
breathe.
We can,
breathe.
and help facilitate the positive conflict.
I want to get into this now as well, being with my boy now being in grade 1, and obviously there's new children and there's new experiences. What if you as a parent feel that there's a particular kid that you feel is not the best influence on your child, especially if they are young? Is it okay to say to your child to walk away from that friendship, or how do you go about that if it's really concerning you and you can see a change of behavior from your child?
So I think it's a great question and a really important one, because often our kids are going to have people in their lives, kids, friends, and we cannot just eliminate these people. So it really starts with our kids. It's helping them to understand their role in the friendship, rather than going, don't ever play with him, don't go near that child, he's bad news, stay away from him, speaking to the teacher, don't let them talk to them. We don't want to orchestrate that sort of stuff. We rather want to be going, well, what happens when he does that to you? Is it nice? Does it feel nice? What can you do? Helping him to learn to assert himself, stand up for himself. And also there's a two-way street. So you might have kids who come into our children's lives who've got difficulties managing their emotions, managing anger, that sort of thing. It's a really helpful thing to have in our children's lives. Look, he really struggles with his anger. That's something that he finds very hard. It's not okay for him to come and clout you whenever he feels angry, and what can you do when he does that? But it's also helpful to understand everybody comes with their own story. So it's not helpful as parents to just eliminate the difficult stuff, rather help our children grow and be able to manage what's around them.
As much as you want to get in there and help out, ultimately I think you need to guide your child to make that decision for himself at the end of the day. Laura, thank you very much. It's a big topic. Appreciate your time, your expertise, and your advice and your knowledge that you impart on us every parenting day, I can almost call it. Thank you very much. So have a beautiful day yourself. But there we have it, some good conflict resolution skills. You need to focus on that as a parent from a young age to make sure you really foster a beautiful young human being going forward.
Well, listen, when it comes to preparing your life for a professional theatre performer, it requires intensive study, dedicated practice, and discipline towards building a bright career.
Absolutely, and that's why Expresso went down to the Leighton Alexander Musical Theatre Academy out in Cape Town to show just what it takes to put together an institution for the performing arts.
There is a wealth of artistic talent in our country, but there aren't enough centres dedicated to the training and cultivation of professional theatre performers. That's why there is a bright spotlight shining on the opening of a new performing arts institution, Leighton Alexander Musical Theatre Academy.
So the idea of the academy was born out of something quite exciting, and that is the fact that as South Africa, there are so many wonderful musicals and projects happening that we're running out of talent. And I think for the moment, in fact, there are 4 big international musicals that are out abroad that all have South Africans in them. Having spoken to Peter Turin, our impresario, we were like, what are we going to do to keep producing this high standard caliber of talent in South Africa? And so, LAMTA was born. The older you get and the wiser you get, the more experience you have, the more directors you've worked with and choreographers and producers, you have a wealth of information to share. And, it would be ridiculous not to be able to pass that on to generations and to our future generations, And Dwayne and I have always had, again, with the musical theatre workshops, we've had, a process that we follow in terms of nurturing youngsters. We work a lot with all the kids that are in the shows, on shows like Matilda and Sound of Music. And now it's about taking that knowledge and sharing it with students who are 2 or 3, 4 years away from actually becoming professionals themselves.
With the popularity and calibre of South Africa's musical productions, it's now almost essential to be a triple threat performer in Mzansi. Lambda's comprehensive courses taught by their multidisciplinary and experienced staff ensure that students will develop the skills required to enjoy a lasting life in the performing arts.
LAMTA is a musical theatre academy, so to study musical theatre you need to study the disciplines that make up musical theatre, essentially acting, singing and dancing, and then what's really important is to put those elements together again. So that is what our students spend most of their time focusing on, the practical and theoretical aspects of singing, acting and dancing. But LAMTA is a little bit more than that. We're also trying to prepare our students for a career in the industry. So it's not just about being able to be the performer, but it's about how to handle yourself as a career, how to handle yourself as a business. So, theatre has been dying for thousands and thousands of years. It will never die, but we need to make sure that we keep up with the times and that we are providing rich talent to the industry. And what better place to do it than in this particular facility?
One of the young stars is a passionate young lady who's overcome much adversity to fulfill her dream.
I was born with recessive polycystic kidney and liver disease with congenital hepatic fibrosis. Over time, it makes your kidneys fail, so you're always in renal failure. My love for performing arts, it started with my grandfather taking me to We Will Rock You when I was 5, and it gave me a reason to wake up in the morning and to not feel sick all the time and just to not think about the stuff that could happen. And then I started doing musical theatre workshops with Anton and Dwayne, and that just made everything better.
Classical ballet training is the most grounded and most important part of any dancer, any entertainer is training, because we are strengthening firstly the core, which is going to help them get through an entire show, a 3-hour show like Cats, and to find their stance and their preparation as to how to enter a stage and how to exit and how to reverence and thank the audience for applause. This is all part of training of classical ballet.
The caliber is already quite high. There are obviously students who are at different levels. Some students have never taken formal training before, so they have a raw talent. So that's actually quite exciting to work with for me, to see what happens to a voice that is new and natural compared to those who have already had a lot of training.
It's an inspiration actually to come to work, so I can imagine for the students to be in this environment, and they're getting to do everything that they love. They're singing, they're dancing, they're acting, they get private coaching, they get the best teachers teaching them, and it's very clear with all the students how happy they are.
While LAMTA may be a newcomer in the field of performing arts education, it is steeped in the tradition, expertise, experience and passion necessary to propel generations of future legends into entertainment.
Well, still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, we're taking a look at how art, or rather not art, but tech and poetry fuse to create art at the Silo District. I mean, tech and poetry, have you ever in your life? Can't wait to see that.
That must be quite interesting. We'll take a look at that story. And then, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for one of our favorite comedians, Dola Dola. She is here. Yes.
I'm on top of it.
You're on top of it.
It's amazing. Ek is 'n room of a view. Dis baie mooi. Ek gaan nie vir julle kyk. Julle is ook mooi, maar dis mooi.
Okay, well, yeah, that's more that after the break. Stick around.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Time for us to catch up with South Africa's most beloved bombshell, blonde bombshell, I'm going to call her. If you don't know who she is, then you've been missing out. It is the one, the only, Dola, everybody!
And you know what? I'm turning 21 this year.
Shoo!
21.
Yes, 21 years I've been on stage, so I'm 21 forever. And I'm going to celebrate it only in September at Aardklop, at that festival.
Oh, I saw you did a bit of a double take when Leanne called you a blonde bombshell. How many times have you been called a bombshell before?
Nee, ek weet nie, ek laat alles ontplof. So, I don't know, ek maak mos, ek sit mos my voet daarin en dan trap ek haar langs my af en dan poef.
Listen, it's lovely to have you. Thank you very much for joining us. We just thought we want to catch up with you a little bit because I know that you've been also very busy, especially with your production Three Sisters, in which you're part of. Not you, your alter ego, Margit Meyer.
You know what? She says I'm the alter ego and she's the real one.
Okay.
I'm the fake.
Right.
Do I look fake?
No, you look very
she's
real.
very fake. And but she's in that one.
Okay,
the
Three
real
Sisters,
one.
Yes.
Okay, with Liz Meyering and Nicole Holm. And it's Three Sisters, and it's next week. It's in Atterbury Theatre in Pretoria, and then it's going to Woordfeest, and it's going to Kokomko, and then it's going on the boat of the RSG Day somewhere. Daar. And it's about three sisters who end up on the airport. They're going to Thailand. Nicole and I'm a twin, whatever. Not me, the other one. Margit. Yeah. No, not Margit. Margit playing on now. This is confusing.
Wow,
It sounds like my family. Very extended.
So Dolla's Margit Meyer-Rodenbeck is playing Anel in Three Sisters.
Yeah.
Have I got it?
The alter ego one.
The alter ego. Okay.
It's very confusing. In any case, and they end up in the airport and they're going to Thailand and then it gets delayed and delayed and delayed. And Liz, she's a fabulous actress. She plays the older sister. She's turning 50 in the thingy, and then in the play, and then she's very afraid of flying, but we give her that as a gift, so like her sisters, and they never end up. Oh, maybe they do. You must come and watch it, and it's funny, but it's also real, and it's also, it sends you home thinking.
Yeah.
It's like a chick flick.
So what you're saying is just go watch. Just go watch. Can I go? Okay.
Yeah, it's like
I love a good chick flick though.
Exactly.
It's good. Yeah.
It's like a chick flick on stage.
Three Sisters.
Three
Check it out.
Sisters.
Check it out. Where can people get info quickly?
They can go on that Alter Ego's Facebook.
Margit Meyer-Rodenbeck.
Theater Margit. I think they can get everything. But they can just Google Three Sisters and we will pop out.
Well, it seems like a very busy year that you've got ahead for you. What else are you busy with this year?
Okay, and then I've still, the Alter Ego's got the Boer Theatre restaurant in Durbanville. That's like an everyday. And then I'm doing a new play that's starting at, she's doing a new play that's starting at KAK&K, Die Voordele vir Eierwit. Okay. With Marion Holm. And also two sisters that ends up in a lift that gets stuck. Somehow I get stuck all the... You may be stuck with me for the rest of the year if I carry on like that. Okay, so I'm doing that, and then later in the year I'm doing my new show with Dola, and I've brought in a new character, Oma Dove Dola, and it's very nice to portray her because I'm getting older, so it's easier.
You're not. You're 21.
Yes. 21 forever.
Older, exactly.
But yes, but Oma, because she's older and the filters go, she gets away with more even than Dola.
I love it. Listen, it's very, very busy here indeed. Quickly want to touch on Jenny Morris's Blanket Initiative. You being part of that as well. We're going to unpack that a little bit later on the show. Jenny is here as well, but why don't you decide to jump on board?
Ja, Jenny pak nog uit. Alle wolle. Maar she phoned me and I didn't know why. And I said, ek begin nie. She said, what is this with you? But no, it's a very good initiative, and she's got this shop, this restaurant in Durbanville, and it's like in the old days when you go to the doctor and you wait and then you start knitting. And she's asking everyone for all the little offcuts, and it's a chat. No, but she will tell you the real deal. It's giving. It's giving your time, giving your love, and I think it's a I think it's a very valuable project.
Wonderful. It's all about making a difference as well, and that's why we're all getting involved. And we love Jenny on our show.
Yeah.
We love you, Domadola, and everything that you're doing, and of course...
And what are you doing tomorrow for Valentine?
Nothing at the moment.
You know, I'm going to the Billy Millie Fierce.
The Billy Millie.
Have you heard about it? The Billy Millie. It's real. I didn't make it up. Billy Millie Fierce in Rights. Tomorrow I go there for Valentine. Can you imagine the Billy Millie Fierce?
It sounds romantic at the Billy Millie Fierce.
I'll kapot at the deksel. But I think I'm Tupperware because I can't find the lid. But it's fine. Billy Millie, maybe I get it there.
Ons is daar. That's awesome. We're going to be chatting to Jenny Morris a little bit later on about her Love Rugs campaign. All that and more coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Aww.
You've got to love her. She's so hilarious. Well, listen, we shift the focus over to British designer Devlin now, who's known for her large-scale sculptural works, fusing technology and poetry. Now, her glorious work was on show at the London Olympic closing ceremony, and she's even created touring stage sculptures for Beyonce and you too.
That's incredible. And her latest sculptural work is on show in Cape Town. It will rock you, make you think, ask questions, entertain you, and guess what? It's at no charge.
We're here at the Silo Square V&A waterfront, where artist and designer Devlin has a public installation all about life and movement. It's titled Zoetrope, and in this case, perhaps it should be all about the future of sustainable mobility.
These 12 short films were shot by local creatives at various locations within 100 kilometers from here. They feature kelp forests, choirs, solar power installers, and more. A view of the diverse country and humanity all around us.
What an incredible installation. What does it feel like for you to be able to bring this sort of work to the South African audience?
Well, do you know, it's terrifying to be an outsider and to turn up in your territory and talk about your place. So what I hope most is that the people from here who see this work will be indignant and will want to get their own hands on it and will want to start adding their own films into what you just walked through there.
How did you approach putting it all together? Can you talk us through the process of it all?
I came to Design in Daba conference in February, and there was no water. There was a sense of urgency around climate change and around electric vehicles being part of that solution. I wanted to conceive something around what can you do while you charge your electric vehicle? How can we rethink the whole thing about charging cars? Can you charge your mind while you're charging your car? Could you learn about where you've stopped instead of just driving through it? So what I've made is called a Zoetrope. Zoe means life in Greek, trope means turning. And the idea is, can you stop here for 12 minutes? Can you walk for 12 minutes through this sculpture? And can you learn from 12 films that are shot all in 12 different directions from this spot? Could you come out with a little bit of understanding about where you've stopped?
The concept of people and collaboration has come through quite often in our conversation today. Would you say that that is the future of what art making and storytelling is looking like?
Artists are often viewed as magical people, but actually artists are just people with their eyes open. And if you look through Instagram, you look through all the people contributing, there's an awful lot of people with their eyes open. I think there's an awful lot more artists than we give people credit for. And I think the collective systems of things like Instagram, social media that allow us to all view what each other is thinking, does begin to make us more of a collective as a group of artists.
You've created so many masterpieces. You have to tell me, which of your works would you say has inspired you and really grown and challenged you?
It has to be this one. my first build in Cape Town. I've learned a lot about how to build things here, about the resources available here, about the challenges available here as well. So yes, it's been challenging and incredibly rewarding. And the next part of this story is that the money that I'm being paid by Mercedes, who commissioned this piece, is going to fund a women's skills centre in Malawi. And that's the visit I did just before I got here. So there's a whole other African story going to come out of this next.
Now that was an installation worth noting. Devlin, this installation will run at the Silo Square at the V&A waterfront for a full year in Cape Town. Make sure you do not miss it.
Well, don't go anywhere. We're about to take a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're turning a serious eye as we're talking about, have you thought much about your will, what to include, and all of those details? Well, don't worry. We will be discussing that a little bit later. And then, of course, we're also going to have some fun because Jenny and the ladies, they are in studio, and it's all for knitting for a great cause. We're going to get to connect with them after the break, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a bit.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso. And if you've ever had the absolute privilege of knowing celebrity chef, cookbook author, and TV host Jenny Morris personally, well, then you will know how warm, genuine, and really generous this lady is, especially her juicy hugs. And she's spreading that love with her Jenny Love Rugs initiative aimed at crocheting blankets, scarves, and beanies for people who live on the streets. And she is gracious. She's got the gracious help by Martine Ryder and Hester Bester from Moya Yarns. Ladies, you are hardworking. Welcome to Expresso.
Hello, my darling. How are you this morning?
Oh, listen, it's so great always having you on the show. I mean, Jenny, you genuinely do give the best hugs, and you're now spreading that love with your, with your initiative called, it's called the...
It's Make the Circle Bigger, Jenny Love Rugs, yes.
There we go. Where did this initiative come from?
Do you know what? I've been doing this for years and years and years, and it kind of started off with, you see a person on the street and they've got newspaper on their bodies and a bit of plastic. And it kind of tugs at your heart because you're all toasty and warm and, and my mother knitted and my granny knitted. And I just thought, let me collect all the scrap what I can find. And I started with one blanket. And then it just, I call Make the Circle Bigger. I start all year round, 365 days a year. Trust me, I'm doing crochet. I take it in the car, I stand in the supermarket line, I fly with it, and I make these squares and I make these blankets. By the time it gets to now, which is like the end of February, I start making round ones. That's where the circle comes in. Okay. And that's where I have to say to people, help! Take it, just add to the circle, make it bigger. And so, yeah, it's been going for years.
Yeah, you did need help with this, and
yes.
I think this is something where a lot of people can get involved in.
Absolutely.
Now, Martine, I need to ask you, when it comes to this beautiful business that you have, Moya Yarns, what is the heart that goes into it? Because I believe you have a very special story.
Yes, we do. So Moya started about 4.5 years ago. We literally started from the garage. There was a gap in the market, so we took it. And yeah, so here we are today. We met Jenny through a mutual friend from Abu Dhabi. And she introduced us and said that Jenny's doing this, and we thought, oh, fantastic, let's just donate some yarn.
Oh, fantastic. Because I was going to ask you, Hester, how's this partnership with Jenny come about?
We heard about this, the loop.
Yes, make loop together, make the circle bigger.
Yeah, make the circle bigger.
But you're underestimating what you're saying. Gave me some yarn. For over a year now, I've been getting boxes and boxes of all the offcuts. You can see all the beautiful colours in this rug come from the little balls. But this year, you gave me the biggest gift of all. You have been I've been getting proper, full balls of wool. And I just can't even begin to just tell you what that meant to me. So, but now I have all this wool, I need all those hands.
You need help. You do need help. I know that Dova Dola is on board helping you knit and crochet. But for people watching today, I mean, my mother loves to knit.
Yes.
Where and how can they get involved to help you?
Do you know what? My restaurant in Durbanville, in the DeVille Centre, Yumshus, is going to be the hub for the northern suburbs area. So people can come if they're, you know, like in the doctor's rooms, are you having a cup of coffee there? Please come, make my circle bigger. Or you can actually come to me, I want your name, address, I've got your DNA, you bring that scarf back. I will give them wool. We have so much beautiful wool. They can choose their colours because I've now put them all into batches of colour codes. The girls have given me, I nearly said a recipe, that's the cook in me. Well, it is a recipe today.
It is a recipe.
Pattern, yes. And then so you can come and get a little bag of wool. Make a scarf, and then what we want to do in the restaurant is we've got lots and lots of railings. We want to tie the scarves on there as they get them. Yes, and then we take a photograph of the wall of scarves. And if you've got old wool lying at home, I want it.
Yeah.
Please.
So people can send you the wool. If people can knit at home and they're not in Durbanville, can they send that to you?
Yes, make the scarf and give it to Mama.
There we go.
We're also very happy for people to send it to us. We're in Gordons Bay. And then we'll bring it through to Jenny, send it along with other yarns. So yeah, we just want, it's all about giving back.
See, that's one thing I don't know how to do yet is crochet. I can knit, I just don't know how to start the stitches. I always have to turn to YouTube just to start the process. But after that, I'm okay.
Don't worry, I work with yarn all day and I don't know how to knit or crochet.
Okay. So I'll need to come to you ladies for a little bit of a lesson so I can help make the scarf and the circle bigger. Well, ladies and gents, if you would love to donate and of course be part of this a wonderful initiative of Jenny Morris, you can go straight over to Yumshus Restaurant in Durbanville. It's in Cape Town, or head on over to Yumshus Durbanville on Facebook and send them a message and find out exactly how you can get involved. A wonderful initiative indeed.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Well, it's 2 minutes after 7. Let's take a look at what's happening in your national news. South Africa's unemployment remains one of the highest in the world, despite some improvement in the fourth quarter of 2018. Figures released by Statistics South Africa show that there were 6.1 million people without jobs in the 3 months to the end of December 2018. This is compared to 6.2 million people in the previous quarter. Unemployment remains stubbornly high at over 27%. Stats SA Statistician General Risenga Maluleka says Limpopo recorded the lowest unemployment rate in the country, while the Eastern Cape had the highest. A new automated shark detection project aimed at developing a low-cost computer-aided shark vision detection algorithm will be used on fixed cameras above Cape Town's beaches and has been launched, the City of Cape Town announced yesterday. The city says the Shark Spotters program has significantly improved water user safety at its operating beaches in Cape Town. It has recorded more than 2,000 shark sightings since its inception in 2004. Now moving further abroad, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres says Africa has set an example to the rest of the world in terms of peace and conflict resolution. Guterres was speaking at the African Union Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, following peace deals by some warring African neighboring countries and successful elections in some local countries previously affected by instability. He mentioned the reconciliation between Eritrea and Ethiopia, polls in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Madagascar and Mali, as well as peace agreements that have been established in South Sudan and the Central African Republic. British Foreign Minister Jeremy Hunt said yesterday that it was still possible to get a Brexit deal by March 29th when Britain leaves, describing a real hunger to finalise the exit in the European Union. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Theresa May wants more time to renegotiate her Brexit deal with the European Union and in return is promising lawmakers a further chance to take control of the process before the clock runs out. And finally, police in Houston, Texas thought that when a person called to report the presence of a wild animal in a house on Monday, he was hallucinating. And understandably so, because the person said that he had gone into his abandoned house to smoke pot when he made the startling discovery. They responded somewhat half-heartedly, but got the fright of their lives upon arrival. The smoker was not hallucinating. There was indeed a huge tiger locked inside a cramped cage in the garage. A few packets of meat had been left close by, but there was otherwise no sign that anyone lived in the house. The tiger was gingerly transferred to a safe sanctuary. Well, all we can say is all in a day's work for the Texas cops. Rather them than us. Time for another look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's another tiger, Ewan Stradom.
Wow, what an introduction. Love that one. Thank you so much, Lee. Let's get into your sporting headlines right now. Last night, the Champions League last 16 got underway with Manchester United's first loss under Ole Gunnar. French star Kylian Mbappe running off the 2-0 win for PSG. In Rome, Nicolo Zaniolo scored 2 late goals to see Roma get the first leg advantage over Porto 2-1. And tonight, Tottenham manager Mauricio Pochettino will be eyeing 18-year-old winger Jadon Sancho as the danger man and possibly a future acquisition as they entertain German league leaders Borussia Dortmund at Wembley. While Real Madrid will be eyeing a 4th consecutive Champions League title and 5th in 6 years when they take on Ajax. And then in the CAF Champions League, Mamelodi Sundowns remain second in Group A after a goalless draw away to ASIC Mimosas yesterday. Having won just once in 8 attempts on the road on the continent, the Brazilians will be happy with that 1 point. Orlando Pirates less so with their first Group B defeat, a 2-0 loss to Esperance de Tunis. Struggling in North Africa, the PSL Giants slipped down to second on the standings, while the Blood and Gold climbed to the top of the table. Both South African teams can look forward to home advantage when the competition resumes in March. And some cricket news ahead of the first of 2 tests against Sri Lanka starting at Kingsmead in Durban today. Proteas captain Faf du Plessis was direct on his intent, vowing to apply pressure on the weekend tourists seeking to find Sri Lanka's breaking point as early as possible, also highlighting the losing series in Sri Lanka last year. He was typically guarded on team selection, but expecting a slow wicket, he did point towards the inclusion of dynamic left-arm spinner Keshav Maharaj and the surprise possibility of 20-year-old Vian Miller getting a test debut. And with those, we leave your sports stories for now. We'll run you through those stories in half an hour's time once again. Right now, here's a look at your roads with Tabito.
Thank you, Ewan. Let's take a look at your roads this morning. We start off in Gauteng in 4 ways. On the N1 northbound, there is a stationary vehicle after Willem Nicol Drive. The left lane is currently blocked and causing delays. Please do keep a lookout for that. If you're out in the Western Cape in Khayelitsha, there has been an accident on the N2 inbound before Spine Road. All lanes are open, but delays can be expected, so please approach with caution. And off to the trains, there's an extended travel time of 15 to 20 minutes, and that's on the Strand and Muldersvlei line. This is due to speed restrictions, infrastructure problems at Easter River and between Firgrove and Foray. Your next report will be at 7:30. Zoe, standing by with the weather.
Yes, Tabiso, thank you. And let's take a look at those sunrise photos coming through. Navi, thank you for your one from Park Areni and KZN. Today you can expect, maximum of 27 degrees and a couple of showers for today. But let's take a look at the rest of the temperatures. If you're in Polokwane today, your minimum is 20, your maximum 30. Mbombela 21 with a high of 29. Pretoria 18, 25. Johannesburg 16, 23. If you're in Mahikeng, 19 with a high of 26 can be expected. Klerksdorp 18, 25. Kimberley 19 reaching a high of 30. Partly cloudy conditions in Bloemfontein today, a low of 15, a high of 28. Richards Bay 22 with a high of 26. Pietermaritzburg 18, 27. Durban 23 with a high of 27. Some showers is expected in Mthatha 17 with a high of 22. East London 18 with a high of 24. It's also cloudy in Cradock 15 reaching a high of 27. Port Elizabeth 16 reaching a high of 24. Sunny in George today, a high of 22. Sutherland 13 reaching a high of 27. It's also sunny in Cape Town, a low of 16 with a high of 25. Worcester 13 reaching a high of 30. Springbok 19, 32. And Uppington a low of 22 with a high of 37 degrees Celsius. That's where we leave your weather for now. We'll have another update for you in half an hour. And as we welcome the 13th of Feb, let's take a look at who's celebrating their birthday.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Yes, it's that time of the morning. It's a very special time as well where we get to wish you a very happy birthday. But first and foremost, he was the star of the successful British boy band Take That. Remember him? Yeah, he set also a world record in 2006 when his solo tour sold 1.6 million concert tickets in one day. And he was born on the 13th of February 1974. That's right, today is international superstar Robbie Williams' birthday.
Wow! Hey.
Yes, Robbie Williams.
I just wanna feel.
Yep, he just got all kinds of feels, man. Like, he's brilliant. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this guy. So let's take a look at who else. Hey?
I love Tabisa doesn't actually know the lyrics of the song, but he's singing.
Okay.
He's creating new lyrics as you go.
Yeah, you said I was singing his song. I was just singing
You were
my own
humming.
song.
You were humming. That's all good. Let's take a look at some of the other birthday who's sharing a birthday with Mr. Robbie.
Well, first up, we would like to wish a very happy birthday to Grandma Peggy.
Hey, Grandma Peggy. There
Look at
she
how
is.
cute Grandma Peggy is over there, hey? Living her best life. Happy birthday, Grandma Peggy. Also, Hannah's mom, dad, brother, and sister would like to wish her a happy 16th birthday.
Hey.
So, Hannah, happy birthday from your whole family.
Happy sweet
birthday,
16th
Hannah.
as well, yeah.
And then we've also got Valda, who would like to wish her granddaughter Cassidy a happy 14th birthday today. Happy birthday, Cassidy. And then Bronwyn would like to wish Ashraf a happy 6th birthday today. He watches our show every day and hoping his picture will be up on the screen,
look
which
at
it
that
is
bow
right
tie.
now.
I hope you're waving back at us. Mwah.
Yeah.
And apparently that's his dream. So his dream has definitely come true this morning. Happy birthday.
Absolutely.
Ashraf. Happy
Don't
birthday.
ever take off that bow tie, Ashraf. It looks cool, man.
Yes.
Then we have Beradine, who would like to wish her daughter Skylar a very happy 7th birthday. Hey, 7th birthday, so grade 1, is that?
Yeah.
Hey, very cool. Happy birthday to you, Skylar. And Ramona would like to wish her son Zane a very happy 17th birthday. Getting some puppy love,
Getting
Zane.
some puppy love. Also, Leisha would like to wish her niece a very happy 15th birthday. She hopes Adele has a great day today and, of course, many more birthdays to come.
Stunning. Okay, so our son is turning 12, and not my son or our son, but it's a message that came through that reads, our son is turning 12. Can you pretty please throw him a shout out on Expresso? He is the first person who wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning and puts on Expresso and listens while he gets ready for school. Well, this is from Mummy and Daddy and brother Eston Cole. This is for Queen. Right?
Very cool, man.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you guys. Thank you very much for all of those submissions. We love it. Now, we would love to celebrate your birthday with you. You can send us your picture and your dedication. Email that to birthdays@condova.tv and we'll throw your picture on the screen and we'll happily wish you a very, very happy birthday to everyone. To everyone.
Our son as well.
Yes.
And our son.
To their son as well.
Happy birthday to you indeed. We are joined by Eitan Stern. He is with us this morning and we're talking all things regarding your will. That is coming up after the break. But Eitan, would you like to order something from Princess?
I would love to. Princess, can I have a cappuccino, please?
Oh, there we go.
The one with
Princess.
a face on it.
All sorted. Would you like a sweet treat as well to get the morning started?
Why not?
There we
One
go.
of those delicious donuts, please.
The one with the face, this one.
There we go. Well, while Eitan sorts out his delicious treat for the morning, when we get back, we'll also bring you a tech update. And this time, Google Maps is getting a much-needed facelift, if we can call it that way. Well, technology is definitely advancing in all kinds of directions, and we'll fill you in after the break.
Enjoy a moment in between with McCafe. See you after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, well, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. I hope you filled up those coffee cups. We're about to dive into our world of tech and see what updates there are.
Exactly. Now, I'm constantly using maps to get around, especially Google Maps. And if you've ever noticed, Google Maps struggles to accurately locate you on the app when you are, for instance, in a city with large buildings. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Well, it's because of the massive skyscrapers that are loaded with metal inside them. They tend to interfere with a compass system on your phone. Now, for this reason, they're testing a new feature called global localization, which uses your phone's camera to figure out where you are with the help of augmented reality. So you simply just hold up your phone and pan across the buildings. The app will then compare what it sees through your camera with what Google Street View images have been taken of the same area. It can then pinpoint where you are and will place directions on your phone that you can follow on screen. They've also added a nifty feature to remind you to lower your phone while walking so that you don't walk into someone or cause an accident. So far, the feature is only being tested by a few users, but no indication has been made as to when it will be released officially.
That's quite cool.
So once again, camera showing a lot of stuff.
People have too much access to you through your phone. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, I don't know. As exciting as technology is, it's a little scary as well.
Yeah.
As to how much people can find out about you when you're in a particular place.
Well, let's talk about something interesting. I mean, do you remember the Mars One project that planned to send a group of humans on a one-way mission to Mars? Yes. Now, the company that backed it financially have been declared bankrupt. Now, it became very popular in South Africa when some local scientists were shortlisted as candidates. A few years ago, we had some of them on the show, but the entire project consisted of two entities, a Dutch non-profit organization called Mars One Foundation and a public company from Switzerland who was called Mars One Ventures. Now, the financial backing for the ambitious project was supposed to come from Mars One Ventures, but it surfaced this week that the company had been declared bankrupt at the end of January. Now, the whole concept has been criticized by many experts as being completely over-ambitious, and some people even considered the whole thing a scam because one of the main funding plans was to turn the entire journey into the world's most expensive reality TV show. The foundation claims that they are still working to move the project forward and that they will be releasing an official press release with more information. They also said that the bankruptcy affects the Mars One Ventures company and not the Mars One Foundation.
Hi, shame. All those people that were excited to go and spend the rest of their lives in March.
Can I just...
Now it's just Mars, yeah, but now, because we met some of them.
We did, but I would have loved to have seen that turn into a reality TV show.
Wow.
Scam or no scam, turn it into a reality TV show.
Imagine you started selling everything. Just take. And now what you left with nothing.
Okay, well, did you know that more people die of heart disease more than any other condition? It's Wellness Wednesday today, and UN sits with an expert to chat about the heart and why you need to be taking care of it.
Welcome to your Wellness Wednesdays with Medicare right on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, here's a shocking statistic. In South Africa, the incidence of heart disease is critically high. In fact, more people, both men and women, die from heart disease than any other medical condition. So it goes without saying that we need to take a look and look after our ticker inside. And we are talking to the expert this morning. We have pharmacist Paul de Groot with us in studio from Medicare to tell us about why and how we can look after this piece of equipment that we deem so very important. Thank you very much, Paul, for joining us this morning. Thanks. Lovely to have you once again, man. Yeah, so once again, it goes without saying we need to look after our hearts. But besides the heart beating every single day, pumping blood and increases its speed when you exercise, what are some of the critical stats that we need to know?
Well, let's just start off by saying that you should love your heart because your heart is your hardest working muscle that you've got.
Sure.
It beats about 100,000 times a day and pumps about 7,200 liters of blood around your body. So it's a hard-working organ, and so one needs to look after it.
Yeah, and you look after it by
things like exercise and diet, I presume.
Correct. It's lifestyle. It's
Yeah.
lifestyle, because causes of heart illness, there can be many other conditions that cause it, but what we focus on are the lifestyle changes that we can maybe help people with, which are influencing the health of their heart.
Yeah. So what type of screenings do you do at Medicare to maybe help identify somebody that's at high risk of blood pressure or some sort of heart disease?
So in store, we would do, obviously, blood pressure. We test cholesterol screening. We do blood glucose, and again, body mass index, BMIs.
So let's chat about BMI, body mass index, for a second. And, you know, it's also great to know that you can do all those other tests and blood tests at Medicare, because normally that requires a different kind of appointment made from your doctor. You have to run through a million other places. But BMI, why is that so important? What exactly is it?
What it is your weight. It is an equation. So it is your weight divided by your height squared.
Okay.
That's going to give you an answer, and that answer should hopefully be between 20 and 24. That would be that your BMI is within normal conditions. So if it's above that, one would say that you are tending towards overweight, and then the higher that number goes, towards obesity.
When you've done all of these checks and the numbers show that you could be at risk of heart disease, what's the process that follows after that?
What we would do is we would, with the results, offer the patient either go back to visit your own doctor, or we can offer them in-house a video med consultation, which is an online consultation with a GP. Now that takes place within the clinic. The professional nurse has already done all of your vitals, so therefore it's a matter of connecting to the doctor. He or she will review the results, and from there either confirm the diagnosis which has been made and give the protocols of how to move forward on that.
I love that. I love that. Making it easy for you as well. I mean, you can get an answer right there and then, should something be picked up.
And also, we can initiate the treatment for a patient and then repeat medication, you know, after 6 months. If the prescription has expired, we can repeat the prescription via the video med system as well.
Advice on how we can go about just living a healthier life. I mean, what would you say to people and clients that are walking into Medicare?
Well, there's 6 tips. I mean, you've got to regular exercise, maintain a good diet, your BMI, your weight, you want to get it within a good range. No smoking, minimize your alcohol intake. Stress is a big thing. Obviously, you want to try and manage your stress. We can't run away from stress, but we've got to manage it somehow. And get enough sleep.
Yes.
Your heart needs to rejuvenate.
That's something that I'm still chasing, get enough sleep. That's the one thing. I'm getting all the others right, but the sleep part I'm still working on. Paul, thank you very, very much for joining us this morning. Very important, very enlightening chat as well. So go out there. This is your Wellness Wednesdays with Medicare right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and look after your heart.
Medicare, reinventing pharmacy for you.
Okay, so we're about to take another break right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. After the break, JD Morris, she's going to teach you and me how to crochet and knit. And then we meet local rising star. Her name is Nicole Fortain. She is a pack of power. You want to miss this? No, you don't want to, so stick around.
Clover Crush, 100% pure fruit juice packed with vitamins and no added sugar. Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Wednesday, and it's that time of the week where we now focus our attention on the unconventional side of the law. And here to help us with exactly that, we once again welcome our expert lawyer and director at legalease.co.za, Eitan Stern. He's with us, and it is a segment called So Now What? And Eitan, welcome back. And you keep saying you're only being brought back for what the Expresso presenters and crew is getting up to. Well, this past week, one of our crew members had an incident where, you know, it was at an intersection, and it was one of those moments where life flashed past him, and he kind of got thinking, what if something had happened that was, you know, caused him to...
What would happen to the Expresso show?
Well, what would happen to him and his estate, and he's, you know, he doesn't have a will.
It's a big thing, and I think people don't put enough emphasis maybe on it nowadays, and that's why maybe you are here. Now, for those, there's people out there that know exactly what it is, but for those who's maybe tuning in and like, okay, cool, I need to get my affairs in order, what is a will?
Okay, so while we're alive, we accumulate lots of things. You know, you accumulate, you know, houses and cars and animals and record collections. And a will is a document that we put together which decides how all of those things are distributed once we die. Because the reality is we're all unfortunately going to die. So we need to know what happens to all our stuff that we accumulate once we die.
So why would someone need a will? And I mean, at what age is it recommended to get a will?
Okay, so someone would need a will whenever they have property that they want to distribute. So, and the reason why you would need a will is because, you know, you might be someone that is supporting a family or loved ones, and if you don't have a will, then those loved ones are not able to get the support that from your estate. So, for example, if you have a wife or husband that lives in your house, once you pass away, they cannot get your house, or it becomes more difficult.
What happens to your assets and things like that if something does happen? Let's say like a house is in your name, you have your family, you've got your wife living in there. What happens to that property in the event of?
So in the event that you have a will, they read the will and they say, okay, cool, your house is getting left to your wife or husband, and then there's a process where that happens. If you've got money in your bank or, you know, an asset of any sort, then it gets left to those people. The alternative is not such a nice one, because if you don't have a will, then first of all, people won't know what you're supposed to do with your stuff, so there could be fights over it. So essentially, you're not getting a will necessarily for you. You'll be dead. It doesn't really matter to you. But it matters to your family, who now might be fighting over your things. And if you don't have a will, that's where it really starts to get difficult, because your stuff will get inherited according to what's called intestate succession law. So instead of it being your will and testament on how your stuff gets distributed, it's distributed according to a set of laws, and that can really be, you know, kind of a difficult process, not what you want to happen with your stuff. And it can, and often does, leave families without support. I can imagine. And it can lead to a hell of a lot of drama. So it's really, really important for you to get a will.
So if I get a will, can it be a piece of paper, a video, you know, like how exactly must the will be? Must it be done by a lawyer, a law firm?
I mean, we live in a digital age. Can you take that little video yourself and say, so this is what I would like?
Okay, so this is really where wills get kind of interesting, where there's been lots of kind of crime movies made about it. Because what's interesting about a will, it's the one request that you're going to make that you actually won't be around to verify. So one of the things that happens when you can't be around to verify it is it's open to fraud. And there have been cases of many people trying to fake wills. So in order to make sure that your will is your will, the law is very formalistic on how it's meant to be done. It has to be on a piece of paper. It has to be signed in a specific way. It can't be scribbled. It has to be signed in front of 2 witnesses. So there's some very formalistic things that you need to do. So you can do it yourself. We were just saying before that, you know, some people don't have wills because it's too complex to do. It's not that complex. It's a relatively simple document. You can find out online how it's supposed to happen. But if you've got an estate that's valuable, if you've got a family that needs the support, go to a lawyer. Lawyers do it for quite cheap, I believe, because then they want to be the person involved that sees it through. I think banks do it, so it's quite a simple process to actually get done.
Awesome. Well, Eitan's not going anywhere. We're going to continue this conversation, because the next thing is, where do you keep your will, who keeps it safe, and all of that. So we'll discuss all of that and more after the break. But in fact, we're not taking a break. We're going to take a quick news break, so let's catch up with your headlines.
As we go 7:30, here's what's happening in the news. South Africa's unemployment remains one of the highest in the world, despite some improvement in the fourth quarter of 2018. Statistics South Africa says there were 6.1 million people without jobs in the 3 months to the end of December 2018. A new automated shark detection project aimed at developing a low-cost computer-aided shark vision detection algorithm to be used on fixed cameras above Cape Town's beaches has been launched. The City of Cape Town announced this yesterday. On the international front, United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres says Africa has set an example to the rest of the world in terms of peace and conflict resolution. Guterres was speaking at the African Union Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. British Foreign Minister Jeremy Hunt said yesterday that it was still possible to get a Brexit deal by by March 29, when Britain leaves the European Union, describing a real hunger to finalise the exit from the EU. And finally, Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Education yesterday heard the good news that out of the 351 pupils with special needs who wrote the National Senior Certificate exam last year, 1,669 received a bachelor's pass, and there was a total of 1,119 distinctions. And being bad with numbers doesn't mean that you cannot make it through school. Last year, matric exams results showed that 41 pupils with dyscalculia, a number processing disorder, received the National Senior Certificate. In the words of former top achiever in the special needs learner category, Joshua Chetty, he said special needs learners should not be chained by their disabilities, and they should learn not to limit themselves. The class of 2018 certainly did that. Well, it's time for us to take another look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Ewan.
Thank you so much, Leanne. Just running through your sports stories on your Wednesday morning. Last night, the Champions League last 16 got underway with Manchester United first lost under Ole Gunnar Kylian Mbappe, rounding off the 2-0 win for PSG at Old Trafford. In Rome, Roma got the first leg advantage over Porto 2-1, and tonight Tottenham will be eyeing young Jadon Sancho as the danger man as they entertain Borussia Dortmund, while Real Madrid will be eyeing a fourth consecutive Champions League title when they take on Ajax. And in the CAF Champions League, Mamelodi Sundowns remained second in Group A after a goalless draw away to ASEC Mimosas yesterday. Suffering their first defeat, Orlando Pirates were replaced at the summit of Group B by Esperance de Tunis, suffering a 2-0 loss to the Blood and Gold. Both South African teams can look forward to home advantage when the competition resumes in March. And ending off with cricket news, ahead of the first of 2 tests against Sri Lanka starting at Kingsmead in Durban today, Proteas captain Faf du Plessis says they'll be seeking to find Sri Lanka's breaking point as early as possible. Expecting a slow wicket, he also pointed towards the inclusion of left-arm spinner Keshav Maharaj and the surprise possibility of 20-year-old Vian Miller getting a test debut. That's where we leave your sports stories for now. We'll expand on those one more time at the top of the hour. Right now, here's Tabisa with your traffic.
And I'm back with your traffic. Starting off in Gauteng, we look at Linbro Park on the N3 northbound. There has been a multi-vehicle accident after Motorfontein Road, so 2 lanes are currently blocked off there. Find an alternative route or approach with caution. If you are in the Western Cape, in Bellville, there is congestion on the N1 inbound at the off-ramp to Durban Road. Heavy delays are expected, so please be patient on the roads. After the trains, the current available fleet on the Area Central line allows for 1 train every hour. The running times between Chris Honey and Captain's Clip to and from Cape Town range between 60 and 90 minutes. And that's where we leave your traffic report. The next one will be at 8 o'clock. Off to your weather right now. Now, we've asked you to send in those beautiful sunrise pictures, and you have. Here's one from Malcolm, who sent us this bold sunrise from Zoti. Malcolm, you can expect plenty of sunshine with a southeasterly wind traveling 35 kilometers per hour, reaching a maximum of 25 degrees. Now let's take a look at the temperatures across the country. Starting off with Polokwane, a minimum of 20 and a maximum of 30. Mbombela, 21 and 29. Pretoria, 18 with a maximum of 25. Johannesburg, 16 with a high of 23. Mahikeng, 19 and 26. Klerksdorp, 18 and a high of 25. Kimberley, 19 and 30. Bloemfontein, 15, reaching a high of 28. Richards Bay, 22 and a maximum of 26. Pietermaritzburg, 18 and 24. Durban, 23 and 27. Mthatha 17, reaching a high of 22 with some thunder showers. East London 18 and 24. Craddock 15 and a high of 27. Port Elizabeth 16 and 24. It's sunny today and hot in George with 14 and a maximum of 22. Sutherland 13 and a high of 27. In Cape Town 16 and 25. Worcester 13 with a high of 30. Springbok 19 reaching a high of 32. Uppington 22 reaching a hot maximum of 37 degrees. Your next weather report will be at 8 o'clock. Right now, some legal news.
Oh, well, listen, we are continuing our chat with Eitan Stern as we get more legal advice in a segment we call So Now What? And of course, So Now What? We're asking the question when it comes to your will. Earlier, Eitan was just explaining to us exactly what your will is, why it's important to have one. But now we have more questions.
Exactly. We need to get into that. We need to make sure that we all understand the importance of a will. And we brought the sun out for you, Eitan. You know, I know that it's very, very bright, but it's a bright topic.
It's a bright
topic. We need to talk about this. So we spoke about the will. We unpacked exactly what a will is and the importance thereof. Now, what if you want to keep your will private when you're alive? How do you go about that? I mean, I'm sure you get those requests.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. So not everyone's going to want to know not everyone is going to want people to know what's in their will. So some people are going to want to keep it private. You might not want your family to know what they're inheriting, and you also might not want your family to know that someone else is inheriting what should be theirs. So a will doesn't have to be a public document. It can be kept private.
Okay.
You know, all you have to basically make sure is that once you die, that someone can find your will. So it's quite common for it to be left with a lawyer or someone trustworthy that can keep the will, that can bring it out once you die. So you don't need to let people know what's in your will while you're alive.
Because that was going to be my next question: is where do you store your will, or where do you keep it in any way?
Would you have a copy? Sorry, would you have a copy of that will if you are leaving it at
So the important thing is that there must be one original copy. So whoever in your will, you elect what's called an executor, and that is the person whose job it is to make sure that what you want to happen in your will happens. And that person is meant to keep the original. So you can keep it in a safe, or you can keep it at their office, but there has to be one original, and you definitely can keep a copy. But once you pass away, there needs to be that one main copy.
Now, I think there's a lot of people that are thinking like, well, I don't feel like I have anything valuable yet. So is it still necessary to have a will?
Okay, for sure. I mean, so it really depends on what you define as value. So, you know, if you don't, so a cat is definitely, you know, a cat's very valuable to you, but to the rest of the world, it might not have financial value. I know it's a very hard thing to hear. So, you know, definitely if you've got financial value, it needs to have a will. But if you've got sentimental value, something like a cat, it could be artwork, ornaments. I know when my grandfather died, he left me an ornament that was very sentimental to me, and I'm very happy it was left in his will to me. You know, so if you want to make sure that these sentimental things of value get distributed to the places and to the people that you want them to go to, then it's crucial to have a will. And if you're, you know, a minimalist and really don't care about these things, then I guess you don't need it.
Yeah, all right. Well, Eitan, thank you very, very much. I mean, I think we've covered what we need to cover in terms of a will, what happens if you don't have a will. But it's a very, very important subject. So I bet if you don't have it sorted yet, I think go and make an appointment with your lawyer. I think, Eitan, you said that they do it quite, you know, reasonably at price. You can do it at banks as well.
Exactly. It's quite an easy thing to get done, and it's quite a crucial thing to get done. A lot of us think, you know, we're never going to die, but really the drama that it can cause if you don't have a will is just, you won't have to deal with it, but your family will, and that's really why you should do it.
Exactly, and that is what you want to prevent, that confusion afterwards. Thank you very much.
Only a pleasure.
So if you have a question, sorry Zoe, if you have a legal conundrum where you go, so what now? I don't know, I'm in a corner, please let us know. You can share those thoughts with us on our social media pages at Expresso Show, and we'll happily get Eitan back to answer those questions for you.
That's right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, because after the break, we're going to connect with the ladies again just to find out exactly how to knit. We'll see you in just a bit.
Join the party on Top Billing this Sunday evening as Ryle and Fez take on all contenders for the Sexiest Man title. Shining lights of SA Hip Hop, Solo and the Better Gang drop their new album. Rugby's JJ Engelbrecht marries his dream woman Elise Ferreira. And Tarina Patel dazzles with her Mughal palace of a home. That's Top Billing this Sunday at 5:30. Repeat Tuesday at 3:30 on SABC3. The stage is yours. With her Mughal palace of a home. this Sunday at 5:30. Repeat Tuesday at 3:30 on SABC3. The stage is yours. At 5:30. Repeat Tuesday at 3:30 on SABC3. The stage is yours.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, on a Wednesday hump day right here on SABC3. We're live and we're doing the most. Now, my next guest, or our next guest, is absolutely incredible. And this is probably not the first time she has heard anyone say that she is blessed with good fortune. Her name is Nicole Fortuin. She's taken some time out this morning to join us and have a quick chat about what she's been busy with. Nicole, welcome to Expresso.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for having me here again, actually. It's great to be here.
You were just saying now it feels so weird for you being used to one type of set, now stepping into a different set altogether, and the rules of it are also different.
Yeah, it changes. I love how you can move and like the energy of this.
Yeah.
Usually on a set, we try to keep it to the mood of the scene or whatever we're busy with. So this is like really exciting.
It's quite dynamic here.
Yeah.
But Nicole, I'm very curious to find out, you know, from the beginning, what really fueled your passion and your love for the performing arts?
I think my love for people and telling stories and the different ways you can tell stories. I used to be a dancer, so I've always been performing, always been on stage. But as I've gotten older and matured, I've kind of really just gotten into telling stories and how to tell stories, and there we go.
If anyone knows how to tell stories, it definitely has to be you, because, you know, it's amazing how you're able to switch from one language to another. So being multilingual for you has definitely worked in your favor as a performer. But how has it done that for you?
I think it's about storytelling is about communication, and the more ways you can communicate with people, the better that is for you. I also think it helps to kind of move between theatre and film, and the more you can do, it's going to work in your favor.
Right, now this is big news, because you are just making waves in all the right directions. You are starring in an international production, leading role in a hit Warner Brothers film, A Cinderella Story, If the Shoe Fits, okay? Yes. How does it feel getting this type of experience and obviously basing it off all the other experiences that you've had?
I think it's actually quite surreal, and I'm the typical person who works hard all the time, and then only like when I'm sitting back and sitting and talking to someone about it do I realize, wow, okay, I've accomplished quite a bit. I did my second international film last year. It was actually a thriller called Dead in the Water. And I shot a Cinderella story in 2016, but I'm so happy that it's finally on South African screens. And we shot yesterday at a high school in Paarl, and it was so great to see that the kids were just so lit up because they realized what's possible, and it's always just an accent away, any character you want to play. So that's super great.
But not just any character you want to play, also just any sort of accomplishment you want to go for, because you've been nominated for a Fleur de Cap for a theatre award for your performance in Oleana. Congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you very much.
With you being in talks, obviously, of being in another feature film, what are you most looking forward to doing for the rest of your career, which we can tell is definitely shooting all the way up?
Oh, thank you. I think more of what I'm doing and kind of keeping the momentum going and pushing forward and doing things that are really, really difficult. So the play was very, very scary for me to do, and it was the two of us. And we actually spoke about it on the show. So I haven't been on stage in 3 years, and it was accented work, and it was just the two of us for an hour and a half. It was so challenging, but so great. And to be nominated for a Fleur de Cap is incredible.
I know.
I mean, and the people that are with me in the category are legends, absolute veterans. So I'm very, very honored and really excited for what it means to keep kind of going. Definitely more international work, but I also think our film industry is booming, and we have such interesting stories and such interesting characters, and the film that went to the Berlin Film Festival was called Flatland, and it's a Western adventure. That's the one. And it's a female-led, and it's really, really exciting, so I'm looking forward to it.
Nicole Fortuyn, I mean, you certainly, I could spend the whole day chatting to you about the amazing things that you've been up to and that you're yet to get up to. But thank you so much for inspiring us this morning. You are doing amazing stuff out there. And I think that we are going to be hearing lots of awesome stories coming through from you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us. That's Nicole Fortuyn. She is incredible. She is a name you're going to be hearing lots and lots of in the future. And such a joy to have on the show.
Oh, well, listen, I'm sitting down with Mango Groove's Claire Johnson, and it's a beautiful morning. I mean, connecting with her. And of course, you guys are here because you're celebrating 30 years since the release of that Mango Groove album in 1989.
Yep.
What an incredible achievement. I mean, the album's gone platinum 25 times, and that's absolutely incredible. Did you ever expect that to happen?
We had no clue. You know, you do something with all the love in the world and all the hope in your heart, but you have no idea. We hoped friends and family would be really kind and go and buy it. And then when it started to sort of explode, when it was being played across all radio stations.
Thank you, Princess.
Thank you, Princess. We were more surprised than anybody. So thank you to everyone who kind of got behind us all those years ago.
Well, you know what? 30 years, we are still celebrating the music you guys have written and produced. What was the process like when it came to putting that Mango Groove album together that's now celebrating its 30th birthday?
Well, we'd been together 4 years already, and then we were offered this amazing record deal where we worked with an international producer. So it was all very exciting and very fresh, and he came in with all these amazing ideas. So it was very exciting working with him. And it was a good many months. I think it probably took us same time it takes to grow a baby, a good 9 months.
A good 9 months.
And this well-behaved baby emerged.
Yeah, well, and your baby is now turning 30, and there's, of course, the biggest bash of all bashes taking place in March. That is at the Teatro Theatre. That's the 30th anniversary concert. It's at Monte Casino from Friday the 8th of March. Tell us a little bit more of what people can expect at this. We're calling it a 30th bash
for your baby. Well done, exactly. I like that. So the 8th, and then we've just opened the 9th as well, which we're really thrilled about. It's going to be, obviously it's going to be a celebration of the songs that people know from that album, as well as quite a few surprises, which obviously we're not going to reveal yet, and just crazy mango fun. You know, we're having more fun now than we've ever had, and so people would just like them to come and join us and celebrate and sing and dance and maybe even cry a little bit, who knows?
Oh, I think there will definitely be tears of joy. But now I need to ask you, do you have a particularly, out of the music you guys have produced, is there the one song that you feel like this is my favorite?
I can't believe I'm actually saying this. I went through a phase of disliking this song because I got so sick of it. Now I'm completely back in love with it because of the effect it has on the audience, and that, of course, is Special Star.
Oh.
So, yes, Special Star is the one I would choose.
Special Star is a special one indeed. Well, don't go anywhere. We're going to have a performance a little bit later. And, of course, if you want to find out more information around the concert that is taking place, where can people find their tickets at Montecasino?
It's CompuTicket.
CompuTicket. Do go and check it out. It's
absolutely.
the 8th and the 9th of March. It is the 30th anniversary. It is a spectacular that you do not want to miss with Mango Groove. But they're going to be on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you after the break.
One, two, one, two, one, two. Moments away from these arms. You'll always be moments away from these arms. 'Cause no matter what you do, no matter what I say, you will always be sweet moments away. You'll always be sweet moments away. New version. Ooh, I think my voice might just make it.
You guys happy?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, that makes it easier. Thanks.
Oh, I thought these flowers were to hide my face. No.
Oh, very funny, Andrew. This is pretty funny for this time of day. Well done. Yes. We could almost fit the other 9 members.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's time for your daily dose of feel good. So good!
Welcome back to it, your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, right here on SABC3. We're already halfway through the week, but the one thing about this show is we never do anything halfway, so we've made sure and made a point to go across the internet and find some really awesome videos to entertain you and leave you feeling so good.
So good.
I tried it, but I failed.
It's okay, don't worry. You did that halfway. I'm sorry, you need to redo it.
Okay, I have to redeem myself. So good!
Yes,
there we go. Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Coming out with a crow, we love it. Listen, the first story that's definitely going to put a smile on your face is nothing but some. We love seals. They normally just lie on the rocks and they don't move. But check out this, guys. Seals are nothing but underwater puppies. Look at that. He's just looking for some affection. It's adorable.
Also relentless at like.
Oh, is that a
trying to
leopard?
get the
Look at him
affection.
grabbing hold. Ooh. Hey, look at that. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that is sweet, man.
They're so cute.
Wow.
So cute.
And
look at that, getting in there for a hug.
That is incredible. Hey?
Oh man, they really are like dogs.
And
they
literally,
really are.
They have the most amazing puppy eyes.
Oh man,
too
well,
cute,
listen
man.
to this one, baby rays. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we brought you a really feel-good story about some stingrays, but this time around, we bring you the exact opposite. They're tiny baby stingrays. Okay, they're so small that you can see their tiny legs in the process. Look at that. Oh, look at that.
That is quite funny.
I
actually.
want some stingrays
Look
at my house.
Wow.
Look at that.
Little legs, eh? So once they
They're so
roamed
cute.
the earth and walked around like that, and then, oh, sweet.
Oh, they are so cute.
Listen, here's another one. So we know that, once again, getting back to puppies, real puppies this time, okay, they are born with a sense of knowing when somebody needs comforting.
Yes.
So here's a little video showing a puppy having a bit of a nightmare, and his brother just had to come in for the rescue. Check out this. He's like,
Oh, man. Giving us all the kind of feels this morning.
Look at that love.
Oh, another one as well. Look at them all comforting.
Man, it's beautiful. Yeah, no, the comforting isn't just limited to humans, so they give it to
their
each
siblings
other and
as
one
well,
another as well, which is really
Cute,
fun.
eh?
Well, that's it for Wednesday for this morning. Have you seen any interesting videos that are going to make us feel oh so good on any day of the week? Why don't you share them with us on social media? Remember to use the hashtag Expresso Show.
You know what else is so good is the fact that we've been going knit crazy in studio this morning as we're joined by celebrity chef Jenny Morris and her friends from Moya Yarns, Martine and Hester. Of course, we've got the lovely Dola in studio as well. And earlier they told us all about Jenny Love Rugs. Jenny, this is so wonderful. It's so therapeutic. And I love that what we're doing is actually going to be for such a good cause as well. And hopefully changing the lives of so many people who don't have anything warm in winter.
That's why they're called love rugs, darling. We're spreading the love.
We're spreading the love.
Absolutely.
But let's start at the beginning. For anybody who does not know how to knit or how to crochet, where does one even begin?
Google.
Google is your friend.
Google, then take yourself off to Moya.
Yeah.
This is beautiful yarn that they've donated to us. It's cotton, so it's so easy to knit with. But I mean, really, I would go and Google it.
Yeah.
Because it's easier than sort of reading a pattern, because you
Yeah.
can actually physically see.
Yeah.
You know, stick your needle in, pull it over, you know, that kind of thing. I'm impressed with you, madam.
No, listen, I'm going. It's getting a bit tight, but you said it's just my tension, so
your
I'm trying to
tension.
release some of the tension. But this is what, you know, the beautiful thing about knitting is it is very, very calming. It does release the tension. You get rid of all of the stresses of the day. It just helps you think, even though you're busy. Let me tell you, Dovadola doesn't even have to look at what she's doing. She's like, say motor.
But they should just get the politicians to do this.
No! Instead of
then they can-
fighting in
Exactly.
Parliament and all of these things, they should just all knit.
And do something for the poor.
I love it.
That's
I
what
love it.
And I brought my Gucci bag with all the wool, but there's no money in.
Okay, okay.
There's no 300,000. It's unfortunate because we could just take it with that
I
to all
love
the poor
it.
people.
I absolutely love it. You were telling me something quite interesting about when people come to Yamshas, what they could do is they could all add a row. Like, tell me more again.
Do you know what? Crochet is one of the easiest things to do.
Yeah.
So when I do some of the love rugs, I do them round.
Yes.
Because it doesn't matter what your tension is.
Yes.
It's your love that is going into that rug. So when they come, whether it's to Yamshas in Cape Quarter, but in Durbanville, there's a lot of ladies in Durbanville that are...
Alle tannies.
Alle tannies kan brei en crochet.
Wat is 'n crochet?
Die dan.
Koekie.
Jekkel.
Jekkel. O ja, as jy 'n jekkel in iemand het, dan kom jy daar na jou toe.
Ja.
En dan bring jy op jekkel en dan jou yarn.
Ja.
Maar jy het ook yarn.
Ek het yarn van Moya het my baie yarn gegee.
And then they can just come and jekkel.
Die jekkel, ja.
Yeah, you
Drink
can
koffie.
jukkel as much as you want. Drink a koffietjie, dan jukkel jy saam. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. So Jenny Morris's Love Rugs, it's all about crocheting, knitting and donating wool. You can go straight over to her Yamshas restaurant in Durbanville, that's in Cape Town, or you can head over to the Yamshas Durbanville Facebook page to send a message and to find out how you can contribute. It's a wonderful way to relax and release the tension, but of course make a difference at the same time. Let's head over to what's happening in the news with Ewan.
Thank you so much, Leanne. Let's run you through your news stories for the last time on your Wednesday morning. First and foremost, South Africa's unemployment remains one of the highest in the world, despite some improvement in the fourth quarter of 2018. Statistics South Africa says there were 6.1 million people without jobs in the 3 months to the end of December 2018. And a new automated shark detection project aimed at developing a low-cost computer-aided shark vision detection algorithm to be used on fixed cameras above Cape Town's beaches has been launched, and the city of Cape Town has announced that yesterday. Making international news headlines, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres says Africa has set an example to the rest of the world in terms of peace and conflict resolution. Guterres was speaking at the African Union Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And British Foreign Minister Jeremy Hunt said yesterday it was still possible to get a Brexit deal by March 29 when Britain leaves the European Union, describing a real hunger to finalise the exit from the EU. And finally, police in Houston, Texas thought that when a person called to report the presence of a wild animal in a house on Monday, he was hallucinating, and understandably so, because the person said he had gone into this abandoned house to smoke pot when he made the startling discovery. They responded somewhat half-heartedly, but got the fright of their lives on arrival. The smoker wasn't hallucinating. There was indeed a huge tiger locked inside a cramped cage in the garage. A few packets of meat had been left close by, but there was otherwise no sign that anyone lived in the house. The tiger was gingerly transferred to a safe sanctuary, and all we can say is, well, that is just another day's work for the Texas cops. And with that story, we leave you news headlines on your Fioga Breakfast Show for your Wednesday morning. Taking a last look at your sport headlines this morning. Last night, the Champions League last 16 got underway with Manchester United's first loss under Ole Gunnar. Kylian Mbappe rounding off the 2-0 win for PSG at Old Trafford. In Rome, Roma got the first leg advantage over Porto 2-1. And tonight, Tottenham will be eyeing young Jadon Sancho as the danger man as they entertain Borussia Dortmund, while Real Madrid will be eyeing a fourth consecutive Champions League title when they take on Ajax. And in the CAF Champions League, Mamelodi Sundowns remain second in Group A after a goalless draw away to ASEC Mimosas yesterday. Suffering their first defeat, Orlando Pirates were replaced at the summit of Group B by Esperance de Tunis, suffering a 2-0 loss to the Blood and Gold. Both South African teams can look forward to home advantage when the competition resumes in March. And ending off with cricket news ahead of the first of two tests against Sri Lanka starting at Kingsmead in Durban today. Proteas captain Faf du Plessis says they'll be seeking to find Sri Lanka's breaking point as early as possible. Expecting a slow wicket, he also pointed towards the inclusion of left-arm spinner Keshav Maharaj and the surprise possibility of 20-year-old Vian Miller getting a test debut. And that's where we leave your sporting headlines for your Wednesday morning.
Thank you, Ewan. Let's take one final look at your traffic this morning. We start off in Gauteng and Kempton Park. On the R21 northbound, there has been an accident before the Benoni interchange. The left lane shoulder is currently blocked and causing delays, so please do approach with caution this morning. In the Western Cape in Athlone, there has been an accident on the N2 inbound after the Jakes Gerwel Drive, which is obstructing the left lane. Please keep a lookout for that. And off to the trains, there's an extended travel time of 20 to 30 minutes on the Southern Line, and this is due to speed restrictions, sets being out of service, faulty level crossing booms at Kenilworth, and operational problems at the Regional Control Center. That's where we wrap up your traffic for the morning. Zoe with the weather.
Don't fear the flu. Boost your immune system with Effaflu-C Immune Booster by Pharmadynamics. Effective, affordable healthcare.
Yes, it's time for us to quickly take a final look at your weather. And before we do that, let's quickly say a special thank you to the beautiful sunrise photos that's been coming through. Sibusiso, thank you for your spectacular sunrise from Durban, as well as Navi for your amazing sunrise from Parkereni. And lastly, Malcolm for your bold sunrise from Umhloti. So thank you so much for that. But let's take a look at the temperatures, starting off in Polokwane. A low of 20 with a high of 30 can be expected. Mbombela 21, 29. Pretoria 18, 25. Johannesburg 16, reaching a high of 23. Mahikings 19, 26. Klerksdorp 18, 25. Partly cloudy in Kimberley today with a high of 30. Bloemfontein 15, 28. Richards Bay 22 with a high of 26. Pietermaritzburg 18, reaching a high of 24. If you're in Durban today, 23 with a high of 27 can be expected. Mthatha 17, reaching a high of 22. East London 18, 24. Cradock 15, 27. Port Elizabeth 16, reaching a high of 24. It's sunny in George today, a low of 14 with a high of 22. Sutherland 13, reaching a high of 27. If you're in Cape Town, 16 with a high of 25 can be expected. Worcester 13, reaching a high of 30. Partly cloudy in Springbok with a high of 32. And Uppington, it's sunny, reaching a high of 37 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where we leave your weather this morning. If you have a beautiful sunrise photo that you'd love to share with us, feel free to do so on the Expresso Facebook page. But I feel like we've been teasing you the whole morning. They are in studio today to celebrate the 30th anniversary of their first album, Mango Groove. And here they are with one of their hit tracks, Moments Away.
You're so sure I could never endure with my emotions intact. You've such a sense of your confidence in my obsession with you. I'd like to question those assumptions, but baby, it's true. Moments away from these arms, you'll always be moments away from these arms. 'Cause no matter what you do, no matter what I say, you will always be sweet moments away. You'll always be sweet moments away. I know that now I must leave you without turning back. Ooh, it seems the pain of indifference gives me the only courage I lack. It's not to say that I will ever be over this obsession with you. Oh, although my pride can make me stronger, I know that it's true. Moments away from these arms, you'll always be moments away from these arms. 'Cause no matter what you do, no matter what I say, you will always be sweet moments away. Yeah, no matter what you do, no matter what I say, you will always be sweet moments away. You'll always be sweet moments away. Moments away. Moments Thank you.
On the vocals, Andrew on the keys, Mango Groove, of course, doing their 30th anniversary concert at Monte Cassino Teatro Theatre. Make sure you get your tickets. It's available. It's taking place the 8th and the 9th of March. Tickets are available at CompuTicket. Of course, you will be performing again for us.
Indeed we will, and it's just the two of us. The other 9 mangoes are resting up.
They are resting up indeed. But you've got one more performance for us.
do,
And just quickly, in terms of going ahead with the future, what is in store for Mango Groove?
Well, obviously these wonderful shows which have triggered all sorts of other wonderful ideas, like documentaries and stage musicals and all sorts of elaborate plans. So we'll see what happens.
So exciting, so exciting. But of course, we're going to have one more performance from Mango Groove. Head on over to our social medias and let us know what you thought of this lovely performance.
Well, just two blondes sitting in the W Beauty room minding our own business. I'm catching up with Dovadola, and the nice thing about it is we've just realized that both of us are rocking a red lip this morning.
Rocking a red lip.
That's it.
Oh, it's wonderful. But you know, it's all you need.
That's
when
all
you've got a
you
bad
need.
day, you just need a red lipstick and, and nice sunglasses. But you've got the lashes. You must close your eyes and then open it slow. No, slowly.
Slowly.
Slow.
Oh. Love it. You must do it in slow motion.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love the lashes.
Do you feel like when you apply that red lip, it just kind of starts your day? It gets you ready for everything. It gives you that necessary confidence.
En dit sê pas op.
Ja.
Met my moeilikheid soekie.
Ja.
Ek het baie te sê.
I love it. Pas op met nie moeilikheid soek nie. Well, still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast Show as Dovadola continues to plump those red lips. We're going to be playing a little game of charades with her, so cannot wait for that. And then if you have any culinary related questions, our experts are in the kitchen with a culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting. We'll be right back after the break. Lekker.
Clover Crush, 100% pure fruit juice packed with vitamins and no added sugar. Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone. Culinary hotline bling. That can only
Hey, you know what time it is. It's a Wednesday morning. Welcome to it. It's your Culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting. Getting in there. Anal Potgieter and the lovely Jenny Morris joins us this morning to answer your foodie questions. If you have anything you would like us to sort out for you, then you can call us 021-430-9881. They are here. They are ready to answer your questions. Hello, ladies.
Hello, you.
Hello. Ooh, yes. Oh, I haven't had a juicy hug yet.
Oh, hello's feeling
Yes,
the
there's the
six-pack.
juicy hug. Lovely to see you guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Right, very cool questions we got this morning. I'm going to start off with Bernadette Stayer, who asked a Facebook question, right? Very interesting as well, because it's something that I'm wondering about. Hi, I got an air fryer from my daughter for Christmas. Can you give me some ideas what else I can cook in it? I have only done chips and fish cakes. Can I do roasts?
I think that's a problem. People get stuck with chips and fish cakes or crumbed stuff because they don't want to deep fry it. But you can make little cakes like in muffin pans, small muffin pans. You can bake cakes in it. And I've even done like a fillet steak, but a small fillet steak, like a smaller section. Because yeah, isn't it wonderful?
Delicious.
Medium rare.
Yes, 45 minutes.
Yes, and it's like crisp on the outside, and when you cut it, it's beautiful medium rare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can do lots of
But you can't
stuff.
put an entire roast.
It's too
No,
small.
it's too small.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have, I promise you.
Okay, so if not for the size, you could have.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
And
okay.
another thing that's wonderful is pork crackling.
Oh,
if you've got
yes.
cut that skin of the pork and you put that in there, that is just
It really does. That hot air just makes it pop.
Yes.
So
yes.
Bernadette, there we have it. Not just for chips and fish cakes, you can do a whole lot in your air fryer.
Yes.
Cool. Another question we had, Marion from Port St. John. This was a caller from last week, but Marion asked, how do you make fig jam? One of my favorites. I love figs. I grew up, we had a massive fig tree just outside the window on the farm where we grew up, and we just ate to our heart's content. And then Mom would make jam, and it would be amazing. So, how do we make it?
Mama Jean, you tell me.
Well, you know what? Well, here we go, girl.
Come, Mama Jean.
I normally go like a kilo of figs to 500 grams of whatever sugar you want to use.
Okay.
And lemon. You've got your lemon there, because the lemon gives it the acidity.
Right.
And I like to cook mine down chunky. I like to chop it. I
Yes.
want mine chunky. I can't stand it too smooth.
Yeah.
And I love the seeds. Oh my goodness.
That
It goes
little-
pop,
yeah.
pop, pop as you
Yeah.
bite into it.
You know, there's only 3 ingredients, and that's the thing. And it's so easy because you take your figs, you chop it up, you put it in a pot, you add your
peel it,
sugar.
obviously, right?
I don't
Or not
peel
really?
mine. I
No,
really don't
no, me
peel
neither.
mine.
Really?
No.
You don't have to
yeah.
peel it?
No, I don't peel mine. And then you chop it up and you put it in a pot and you leave it to macerate for about, and I'll leave it for like overnight.
Yes.
So it draws out all those beautiful succulent fig juices.
Oh, yes.
Then I just put it on the stove for about an hour or two and a little bit of lemon juice, but very low heat.
Sure.
Yum.
Yes. And the lemon's important because it's natural pectin.
Yes.
So it just helps it to set.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's actually very easy, and then you just cook it down up until you get that jam.
You've got to watch it though, because it can burn. It's got sugar in it.
But it's fig season now.
Yeah.
So you can buy a big box and go make yourself some fig jam.
Sounds delicious. All right, well, there we have it, Mary, and I do hope that you got your answer right there. You can always call us right now, 082. What is that number now? I completely forgot. 021 430 9881. Excuse me. Right. So we have another question here from Samukaliswe. Says, how to cook quinoa? Do you cook it like oatmeal?
No.
This is the thing. I think we've just been discussing it. I think a lot of people just don't know how to make quinoa properly.
You know what? It's such an ancient grain. It's got the highest protein content of all the grains in the vegetable world.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Yes, yes. So what I do, you treat it like rice. So for a cup of quinoa, I add 3 cups of water. And you put it in a pot. I rinse mine beforehand, just a little bit, because it's more a seed than a grain.
And it's bitter if you don't
Yeah,
rinse
if you
it.
don't. Then you cook it for about 10 to 12 minutes, and then it releases like a little sterkie, like a white little tail. It's quite beautiful, I must say. And then you can eat it. And what's nice about quinoa, you can actually use it as a sultry, a savoury, and a sweet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So, and what also is really nice about this, unlike rice, you can throw the water off if you've gone a little bit too far.
Yes.
That's the one thing you can rescue.
Yes.
Or if there's not enough, you can keep adding as it cooks. And but like Anel says, the minute that little sterkie comes out, take it off.
Yeah, that's it. And let it sit.
Yes,
Yeah.
it needs texture.
Even you guys, that's very healthy.
I eat a lot of quinoa.
You eat a lot because it's really high in protein and low in carbs.
And it goes a long way.
Yeah.
I mean, a little makes a lot.
Yeah.
It really does.
And what's nice about it, you can cook it over the weekend and it lasts for about a week in the fridge. So you can cook a whole lot or you can freeze it. It freezes
Beautifully.
Yeah, freezes beautifully.
Yeah, we do it in the restaurant. If we don't have that in our fridges every single day, we won't have customers.
Well, there we go. You see, it's a brilliant superfood, I can call it as well.
It is a superfood.
It is a superfood, yes. We're going to be back with our leading ladies in just a bit to answer more of your questions. 021 430 9881. If you have any questions, call us and you can talk to them live on air. We'll be back. It is your culinary hotline. Bling, ting, ting, ting.
Well, we're about to make ting, ting, ting happen over here. We have Dola Dova. Dola Dova. Dola and Nicole Fortain in studio with us. I'm sorry, that was a tongue twister. We're about to play a game of charades where at least we don't have to use our words. So the two of you are going to be together against myself and Leanne, and it is going to be a game of who can get the most correct. Okay? Is jy reg, Dola?
Ag, dis altyd reg. Ek het eintlik gelees, toe ek lees op die program, daar's gaan charades, moet ek lees ek Comrades. Nog ek, o, hel, wie gaan lees dit? Julius, vir julle lyk baie mooi. Ek is baie bly.
Okay. Would you like to go first or would you like us to go first? It's up to you.
I think you can show us.
Should we go first?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Lee, you can go first.
Shall I go
So
first?
you'll
All right.
pick one.
So I'm going to pick one. Naturally, I'm going to... Oh, come on. Wow.
Okay. Are we ready?
Ooh, la 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 la.
3,
okay.
2, 1.
I'm very sorry, Zoe. This is not gonna work well.
Shimmy, cheerleader. Showgirl. Dancer. Twerking. Hula hoop. No idea. Dancing.
I'm sorry.
Showgirl dancing with
swing.
Swing, okay.
Yeah. Probably a swing, as in like something that a child uses.
swing.
Oh my goodness, I thought it was the dance form. Sorry. You see how difficult this game is?
Very.
There we go. Take a look. Show camera what we are trying to imitate.
Oh no! Come on.
Okay, you can take it. Okay. I would love to see you do that.
Okay.
I did. Take another.
Okay, this one's simple. So
Let's show the camera what you have.
Smelly. Foot.
Yes! I got it.
Okay. My
See, that I know.
Well
Everyone
done.
thought.
Okay, these
Okay,
are
I'm
quite
not looking.
difficult.
Just pretend they don't.
Okay, so the word I need to do is
Rainbow.
yes. Here we
Go
go.
team.
Okay. Don't look, let's see. There we go.
Alrighty.
Okay. That's really cool.
Tired. Dizzy.
Wow.
We're getting
My
through
goodness.
these. Well done.
So far, everybody was really
Was it
amazing,
full?
just not me.
You're always just full.
Okay.
I don't really worry. Was it full?
Sy's besig om jou te
Okay, so are you ready?
Yes. Eating. Biting. Cut. Knife. Fork.
Yes! Okay. That's it. That's it. Who is it? I feel like our guests are the winner because I lost one round for us. Congratulations. The fart one was the best.
A flawless victory there. Love this game. You've got to love your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. We're taking a break right now, though. After the break, tech and poetry, they fuse to create art. And that's all happening with S. Devlin's installation at the Silo District. And then we're jetting off to New York, New York, New York for Fashion Week. Right now, though, that's it. Frappe, please. Yes, so stick around. Don't move.
What's your flavor? Cool down the tasty way this summer and enjoy a moment in between with Mac Cafe.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone. Culinary hotline bling. That can only mean one thing.
Hey, here we go once again. It's the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ting, ting, ting. Get in there. Our leading ladies in the kitchen, Jenny Morris and Anel Potgieter, they are here answering your questions. Our lines are open, 0214309881. So good on your Wednesday. Are you guys ready for Valentine's Day? Hey?
Are we?
Did you realize it's tomorrow?
I've got a restaurant full of people. Yes, I remember. Can I tell you what I bought for husband for Valentine's?
No,
A wheat
he's not
eater.
watching.
A wheat eater.
A wheat eater.
Yes.
That's the perfect gift for a husband. I want one.
But or a nice big knife, especially for husbands that don't cook. I said, girls, you've got your knife.
Exactly. Listen, thank you very much. Remember, you can call us if you have a conundrum that you would like our ladies to sort out for you. Then call us 0214309881. Right, Vilma Liederman. Hello, Vilma. She had a question on Facebook for you guys saying, what would Mama Jenny do with a fresh snook off the boat? Brying and frying is all the hubby does with it.
Well, hubby, there's a thing called the oven. You don't always have time to brine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just take it, butterfly it like that. Snook can actually also be quite dry in
Yeah,
LP,
yeah.
So I normally just take a bit of butter, literally with my hands, and I rub it lovingly over its little snooky body. And then some lovely fresh herbs on it and some garlic.
Yeah.
Squish of lemon juice in literally minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes, 10 minutes, depending on the size.
Yeah. What I like to do is add a bit of small shrimps and a bit
wow.
of mussels. And then I tell people the snook ate something. It's like it's inside. So they can explore some nice little small bits of seafood.
I
with
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
And if
a
there's
cool idea.
anything left, make some fish cakes.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. Some fish cakes. But I mean, the trick is here not to overdo it because, like I said, it can can get
Dry,
dry.
dry, yeah.
15 minutes. That's it.
Depending on the size, but you can see it. It changes color like that.
For sure. Okay, cool. Well, there's a couple of ideas for you, Vilma. Joy Frey, also on Facebook, says, why does my meringue not stay hard once I take my lemon meringue out of the oven?
There you go, girl.
Okay. I almost feel like we went through something like
How
this
many
before.
meringue things have we done?
Yes, just the meringue little tops of a lemon meringue pie is not supposed to be hard. They need to be crispy.
Yes.
That's the first thing. So to get them crispy, they need to bake at a high temperature and fast. And that's what a lemon meringue pie is. It's like quite a high temperature and it bakes fast. But the more points you make, the more crispy sections you are going to get.
Okay.
And a blowtorch, if you want to use a blowtorch, perhaps afterwards.
Yeah, you know.
And if it's not crispy enough, just put it under the oven under the element and let it just crisp up a little bit more.
And of course, you create those little peaks with a spoon.
Yes.
That you just pull it up like that.
Yes, yes.
I've learned a lot over the years.
About the spoon or about the peaks?
About the spoon and the peaks. You see?
That's life.
Exactly. Okay, cool. So that's how you do it, Joy. I hope that answered your question. Thank you very much for your question. Here's another one. Edwina Steed says, how do I make sauerkraut? Now, I was first introduced to sauerkraut when my pops took me for an Eisbein.
Oh, yes.
And it normally is traditionally served with some sauerkraut.
Absolutely.
And I thought, what is this?
It's fermented cabbage.
There we go.
You go, Jen.
Cabbage.
Well, we both love it, but I normally just make small quantities, like 800 grams of cabbage to a tablespoon of salt.
Yeah.
Himalayan. Very important, not the iodized salt.
Okay, you want the Himalayan salt.
Yeah, because the iodized salt will not let these good bacteria start the fermentation because it's got fillers and whatever in it.
Yeah, and Himalayan salt is the healthiest salt with minerals and stuff.
That's it.
Okay, cool. So Himalayan salt over your cabbage that's been cut.
And then you stand and you massage it, and I'm being serious. If you've got time, let it stand for 20 minutes, but it's so nice, and you massage it, release the water, which creates a natural brine.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can add perhaps flavorants like some of this cumin or caraway seeds or
that could be nice,
anything that you like.
Carrot even.
Oh, I love that idea.
It's really nice with carrot. And then once it's developed, you can actually see, you can already see it starting to, look at my hand.
I can smell it.
Yeah. And once it gets its natural brine, one has to just put it with its brine into a lovely jar.
Or you can,
Yes, you can do that.
as well.
Yes.
Okay, and then?
With a bit of water on top, and you leave that out for 2 to 4 weeks.
Just like that?
Yeah.
Out of the fridge.
Out of the fridge.
Or you could go straight into your bottle. Depends. But it needs, like you say, the outside because it wants to ferment and boil and bubble out.
Really?
Eventually, it will release juices, so all the cabbage will be covered with its own juices, and it will form a bit of scum on there. So you just scoop that up every time, and then you put it back again, leave for about 4 weeks, and then I bottle it and I put it in the fridge and it lasts for about 6 weeks.
And don't be afraid of the scum, because sometimes when I first made it, I threw it away.
Yes. I would love to meet the person that figured out how to do this in the first place.
Without dying.
And then was okay. Yeah,
especially those birds.
It's very good for your gut health.
Yes. Fermented foods. There's a big trend around fermented foods. We know this. Ladies, thank you very, very much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it. Some very cool tips. That's your culinary hotline. Bling. Ting, ting, ting.
Oh man, it all looks so delicious over there in the kitchen. But right now though, we are shifting the focus over to Ez Devlin. She is an incredible artist. She fuses tech with poetry to come up with the most fantastic sculptural works. And she's done work for Beyonce. She's done work for U2. She's done work for the London Olympics closing ceremony. I mean, the list goes on.
It's amazing. Now, her works will challenge you. They'll make you think. They'll make you ask questions. They will blow your mind. But most importantly, her works are free of charge.
To see. To get. We're here at the Silo Square V&A Waterfront, where artist and designer Ez Devlin has a public installation all about life and movement. It's titled Zoetrope, and in this case, perhaps it should be all about the future of sustainable mobility.
These 12 short films were shot by local creatives at various locations within 100 kilometers from here. They feature kelp forests, choirs, solar power installers, and more. A view of the diverse country and humanity all around us.
What an incredible installation. What does it feel like for you to be able to bring this sort of work to the South African audience?
Well, you know, it's terrifying to be an outsider and to turn up in your territory and talk about your place. So what I hope most is that the people from here who see this work will be indignant and will want to get their own hands on it and will want to start adding their own films into what you just walked through there.
How did you approach putting it all together? Can you talk us through the process of it all?
I came to Design Indaba conference in February and there was no water. There was a sense of urgency around climate change and around electric vehicles being part of that solution. I wanted to conceive something around what can you do while you charge your electric vehicle? How can we rethink the whole thing about charging cars? Can you charge your mind while you're charging your car? Could you learn about where you've stopped instead of just driving through it? So what I've made is called a zoetrope. Zoe means life in Greek, trope means turning. And the idea is, can you stop here for 12 minutes? Can you walk for 12 minutes through this sculpture? And can you learn from 12 films that are shot all in 12 different directions from this spot? Could you come out with a little bit of understanding about where you've stopped?
The concept of people and collaboration has come through quite often in our conversation today. Would you say that that is the future of what art making and storytelling is looking like?
Artists are often viewed as magical people, but actually artists are just people with their eyes open. And if you look through Instagram, you look through all the people contributing, there's an awful lot of people with their eyes open. I think there's an awful lot more artists than we give people credit for. And I think the collective systems of things like Instagram, social media that allow us to all view what each other is thinking, does begin to make us more of a collective as a group of artists.
You've created so many masterpieces. You have to tell me, which of your works would you say has inspired you and really grown and challenged you?
It has to be this one. my first build in Cape Town. I've learned a lot about how to build things here, about the resources available here, about the challenges available here as well. So yes, it's been challenging and incredibly rewarding. And the next part of this story is that the money that I'm being paid by Mercedes, who commissioned this piece, is going to fund a women's skills centre in Malawi, and that's the visit I did just before I got here. So there's a whole other African story going to come out of this next.
Now that was an installation worth noting. As Devlin, this installation will run at the Silo Square at the V&A Waterfront for a full year in Cape Town. Make sure you do not miss it.
Oh, and as you hear, the name Zoe means life. Well, we are in the beauty room. Nick Strelitz is with us. We also have Anel and Bernice busy playing around, creating a smoky eye. Because after the break, when Nick is joining us in the lounge, we are talking all things New York Fashion Week. Fashion first and foremost. But let's talk beauty trends right now from New York Fashion Week.
Yes, now listen, I'm going to go elaborate on this when we do our actual segment, but just a very quick 1-2. The smoky eye is back.
Okay.
It's going back to black at New York Fashion Week, which is great if you like that smoky effect. All you really need is 2 products. That's it to get the effect. So you need a good liner.
Okay.
So you start with an application of a black liner. Now what the eyeliner does is it helps set the shape of the eye, obviously, and it's a great base for the impending shadow to come.
Okay.
What you want to do though is after you've actually applied the liner, take your finger, your ring finger ideally, because it's the least amount of pressure on the eye. You know what I'm gonna say, girl.
Finger.
It's the weakest link finger. But also you take, and the heat obviously just naturally on the finger will help smudge in that liner ever so gently.
So Bernice is showing us she's using the eyeliner on Anel right now. So that's what you would do at home if you want to recreate that smoky eye.
Absolutely, and you're shaping the eyeliner. Another tip with the liner is you need to be cognizant of the eye shape that you have.
Okay.
So if you've got a more hooded eye, like Miss Bernice, who we love.
What do you mean a hooded eye?
Hooded means there isn't actually, so whereas Anel has more of an almond shape like me, we actually have a big gap between the top of your lid and the top of your line.
Oh, so more play area.
Exactly, more play area. So the more play area you have, the thicker you can do your liner.
Okay.
So if you have a more hooded eye, or if you don't even have any creases in the lid, you want to go with a very sensitive, small amount of application.
So generally people with a smaller eye would then use a more gentle approach to the eyeliner. I get you.
got
on
me?
the same page.
Yes, Queen. And we have a stunning stunning angled brush as well from Willie's as well. So you really need to be careful about application. It's important.
So what Bernice is doing now is she's adding dark eyeshadow on the top of the eyeliner.
Yep, absolutely. Now what the shadow does is obviously help set the liner for the day. So you really, if you do this once properly, you don't have to come back time after time throughout the day.
I find like if I do a smoky eye, but that's now me trying to do it myself, I end up looking like a panda bear, like it all falls down.
Pandas are in.
No,
not on your face. We're all for conservation. Oh yeah, but not on your face. But that's a good point. So excess, you know when you do your shadow, you get that excess bits all across. You don't let that deter you as well. You literally just need to brush it away as well.
Brush it away with your makeup brush.
Brush it away with your makeup brush. But the smoky eye really is all about, it's chaos, but it's concerted chaos.
Ah, it's controlled chaos.
It's controlled chaos. And look at that, it's a 1-2 process. All you need is 2 products, a stunning brush, and you've got the New York Fashion Week look.
Okay, well, I feel like Annelle needs to quickly open her eyes so we can have a
Annelle,
look at those smoky
How
eyes.
stunning.
Very, very stunning. It is drama. It is drama indeed. Well, we still got a lot coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast show. The girls just showed us how to do a New York Fashion Week inspired smoky eye. We're going to talk all things fashion and have another performance from Mango Groove after the break.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show. Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Start spreading the news because New York Fashion Week for the Autumn-Winter 19 season kicks off our global tour of the most renowned fashion capitals in the world, with the best in women's wear firmly on the radar. And with festivities in the Big Apple concluding today, and with shows from the likes of Tom Ford and Marc Jacobs and celebrities like Kendall Jenner and Zoe Saldana seated in the front row, as usual, New York is serving up nothing but star power. Here with a platter of delicious tidbits is Expresso fashion editor Nick Strelitz, everybody.
Wrote that
introduction. Wow, 2019 is starting out well for you.
It's better than 2018, that's for sure.
I gotta
and
tell
2017,
you,
I wasn't even here,
from
so.
moments to like cheers all round.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you
we
both.
do what
Zoe
we can.
Brown, how are you?
I'm good. Listen, we just spent some time in the beauty room.
We
You
did.
showed us, we focused on the beauty from New York Fashion
We
Week.
did.
But there's so much to cover, not only beauty, but fashion, celeb sightings, and everything in between. So
Guys,
where do we start?
I'm gonna rush you through because there's a million things tonight.
So
Stop
much.
talking so I can get to it. Let's first talk South African representation. Yes, we had a South African in the New York Big Apple. Lukhanya Mdingi making his first appearance at New York Fashion Week for the Autumn-Winter 19 season in a show entitled his Perennial Collection. Oh, wow. How amazing to have a South African, a local designer, I know Lukhanya, to have him flown to New York for this Perennial Collection is absolutely a moment to behold.
Is that his collection?
This is his collection. So he did a presentation. So as opposed to the sort of status quo models down the runway, some designers opt to have a presentation instead, where the models are actually standing around for buyers, media to come and actually look at the pieces, which is amazing because then you can see the technical detail in the garments, how it's made, the fabrication, the texture. You really get much more of an insight.
You get more of an insight. I like to see how the clothing moves on the body.
That's it, Zoe, as well. And you can actually tell the model in the moment to like shake it down.
Oh,
shake it, model.
Yeah, you can maybe get a more
model.
up close and personal look at like the texture of the fabric and
Totally,
the
front
finishing
row.
of the garment. Pretty
Yes,
nice.
but if you see the front row with Anna Wintour there, you can't scream into her model onto the runway like, Gigi, like drop it like it's hot, like do a twirl. It's just not gonna work.
No.
Okay, beauty trends. We did beauty trends in the makeup room. I want to talk 3 quick ones we saw. Pearl nails, girls. It's happening, and I absolutely love this. So go to your technician now and ask for the pearls, not the real ones because it's expensive.
Yeah.
I love the low pony. So New York Fashion Week ushered in the death of the high pony. This was headlines across, and I love a high pony. So the low pony apparently is the one to stay for autumn winter 19.
Okay.
Smoke show, Zoe, and this is something we touched on. Again, the smoky eye, we're going back to black. I think this is a big one as well because the smoky eye had its like renaissance, and then people thought it sort of had gone away, but it's back.
It never goes away.
It did not go away.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see these things come and go because, you know, sometimes it's in, sometimes it's not.
Yes.
So it is in now. Let's talk about functional bag wear.
Okay.
Okay, so last season we saw Brandon Maxwell designer for Gigi Hadid do that rosé wine bag, which we see here on the far left. Now he's doing dinner plate options.
Okay.
Which is stunning because models are hungry, are they? I've heard. I don't know.
I haven't heard anything
I just
like
don't know
that.
how you'll get through the airport with that. It's not functional.
You have to check it.
You're not allowed to take any sharp objects.
Glassware? Oh, Zoe Brown. Okay, you can check it.
If you go to the other side of the airport, they only give you plastic. No.
True. But we're trying to stay classy. I mean, I've yet to see a supermodel
Stay
eat.
classy, San Diego.
Yes, but here it happens. Let's talk about the breakout designer, the designer du jour, Tomo Kuzumi from Japan.
What a breakout that is.
Now listen, he was discovered on Instagram. His show right here is at the studio of Marc Jacobs set up in New York. Marc helping out a fellow emerging designer, which I love. He describes his ruffles as a type of armor. I mean, that is armor because you are not
beautiful.
I love it. I'm glad you like it.
It's more like an art piece to me than an actual garment.
It's very girly.
It's conceptual. What I love, we had Bella, obviously, Joan Smalls as well, showing. So it's nice to have the celebrity sort of models showcasing.
Imagine wearing a coat like that with some denims and a white tee in winter.
Did you love it? I love that you're into this, Zoe Brown.
I love this over-the-top
I love that you're
coat
into it.
look.
VIP guests stood around, so much like the Lucanio presentation, this Fashion Week is all about letting people really engage with the product. And so it takes a social hierarchy of sitting, who's seated front row. You often lose touch of what the actual garments are because you're so concerned about, you know, is that Carly Kloss there or Madonna? Do you know what I mean?
Imagine sitting next to someone that's wearing this on the plane.
It's crazy.
You're like...
Let's...
You booked 2 seats for yourself.
Let's talk Rosario Dawson. Remember Rosario?
I love Rosario
What happened to
Dawson.
Rosario? Well, this is where she's been. She's been designing at New York Fashion Week with her brand Studio 189. Now listen, we have some controversy we need to talk about very
picture
quickly.
got into trouble on the left-hand side.
Gucci showcased their line of sweaters, and obviously there was a call to arms that they were doing blackface and not too subtly, I should say.
Of
So
course.
Rosario's brand, Studio 189, coming out and saying, listen, we know this exists. Let's rather spotlight quintessential African fashion. So they did a line of Ghanaian-inspired duds at New York Fashion Week, which was great to see. 2019 marks the 400th anniversary that slaves were brought over on the slave trade across the Atlantic. So this is a really pivotal year, and Rosario Dawson doing her part to show that this is an important thing to mark. Sustainability was really big on the rise as well. We had a whole segment on sustainability in the fashion industry. Chromat, which is a sustainable swimmer line. Not only did they do sustainable wear, so using discarded fishing nets, discarded fabric that hadn't been used. Look at the diversity in models that we're seeing.
I love this.
Isn't that great?
Oh,
That's
this is
needed.
We had
beautiful.
plus size, we had handicapped, we had white, black, and the brand really taking a stand against anti-fast fashion and the toxins used in chemical dyes. So all the clothing we have here.
Very cool.
Celebrity sightings.
Who?
Can we do celebrity sightings
Who's
quickly?
there?
Candace Swanepoel, our very own South African miss. She was walking in a few shows.
Stunning.
Prabal Gurung with Gigi Hadid and Bella Hadid, just chilling around in New York as well. But again, it's nice to see a South African starlet there.
She's a beautiful
Girl, you know what they say, after the party is the...
after party.
And we saw the after party, guys. We saw the biggest stars out to celebrate Alexander Wang showing Tiffany & Co. Kendall looking good. I love... Okay, we know Emily Ratajkowski.
She looks just like Kendall. I was about to ask you, why did you put 2 pictures of Kendall on this?
Is that good? But look at her pit stains. Model sweat. I love it.
No, I
Maybe
don't
you
wanna
shouldn't
see
wear that. Why, Zoe?
No,
we
I
need to
still don't
break
like seeing that.
the glass, the veneer of perfectness.
It is
A-listers
reality, but
as
you can hide
well. We had lots of A-listers around as well.
Who is John Small canoodling with over there?
That's the question, Miss Leanne Williams. I hope it's not her brother
Interesting.
or cousin, because that'll kick it real crazy, real quick. A-listers, we had the likes of Gigi Hadid modeling Tom Ford. This is probably one of my favorite looks out of all the shows I saw.
The one on Kate Moss.
No, Gigi
Oh,
in the
Gigi.
middle. She's
Okay,
modeling a Tom
fantastic.
Ford. But I mean, living legends. How do you not talk about the OG Kate Moss?
course.
And look at Miss Kim Kardashian.
Not
very
impressed
good.
with that.
You're not loving it.
I
love
love
this
it.
look. At Amphar to celebrate a cure for AIDS, which is obviously an important cause. I think she slayed in this.
I think she slayed.
Those
all
boobies are
day.
looking pikey.
They
and
are
a candid
out of
moment.
place.
Let's end New York Fashion Week with a candid moment, which is nice to see these superstars acting like human beings. Bella Hadid with fellow model doing her own hair right before going on the catwalk for her
Let me tell you.
last trip down the runway.
Nothing like a girlfriend helping you out with your hair.
But it's nice to see that. Like, these
It
girls
is.
are actually getting in there, getting their hands
actually
dirty.
friends. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Nick
Thanks,
Strelitz.
girl.
You are doing the most. Now, this was our first of 4 Fashion Week roundups for the Women's Wear Autumn Winter 2019 season. Of course, you can check in next week when we journey due north for London Fashion Week. And in the meantime, why not head over to our Expresso Facebook page for more on all of this.
There's nothing smoother than the fresh, cool taste of Clover Tropica. Made with love by Clover.
All right, something fun is about to go down in the kitchen. I'm not talking just about the lovely Dola that's having out with us. Look, we are going to make you sip the sun.
Wat?
We're going to make you sip the sun.
Sip the
Sip
sun.
the sun with a delicious Clover Tropica pineapple mojito. How does that sound? A mojito.
Oh, mojito.
Mojito.
Is that my voice? Okay,
You say it so beautifully.
Mojito.
Look, this is beautiful, especially with some summer months still left, and if you want to cool down after a long day that you've been working hard, you've been on stage a lot of the time, so now you just want to sit back and relax.
Ja, gaan jou hier. Jy gaan die mojito doen.
Okay, but I'll come and do the mojito for you. So do you know what this is?
No.
Okay, it's called a pestle and a mortar.
What is?
Pestle and a mortar. Pestle mortar. I think. Now I'm confused. But it's a basic stone thingy that you mash things.
That I get. Okay, that I understand. Stone thingy.
Okay.
Are we just going back to the stone? It's part of Eskom's plan.
Yes.
Going back.
You
going
don't need a
back.
blender of some sort. So we have frozen pineapple.
Okay.
Okay. Now.
Why is it frozen?
Because we need to make sure that everything stays nice and cold.
Okay. Okay.
We have some mint
Okay.
that we're going to throw in there as well.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do a little bit more. I think this one is good.
Why don't you do a little bit more?
I did. Okay, fantastic. And then we don't need that. Now you start pestling and mortaring.
What?
That. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Oh, it's very good.
Try and keep
It's
it
very
inside.
good. I'm doing it.
Nice.
It's
Look
not
at that.
inside. It's on top.
So basically, it's on
Oh,
top.
flip
Yeah,
it.
that's
Sorry.
good. It's good.
It's still. It's not broken.
Crush it up so now you get it nice and fine.
You're stuck in the traffic now. This is very good therapy.
There we go.
You're not supposed to watch TV. Don't be stuck in the traffic. No. It's very good for the arms as well.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to come around this side.
You're bang.
Just a little bit. But it's okay. I know that you'll survive. So I'm going to get some ice in here.
I'll survive.
You will survive indeed. Oh my goodness, it's not... Right, make a mess.
It's
There we
very
go.
hard work.
It's hard work, but you're doing so well.
Oh, sê jy. Wat die ys ingooi.
Okay, I think that's good.
You think so?
Yes. Now, let's try and get that concoction into our glass. You
Jy
can
het net
stop
gesê
now.
is 'n mojito. Nou sê jy is 'n konkoksie.
It's going to turn into a mojito
Okay.
after we add all the... Wow, look at this.
It's a weapon.
You have a weapon. Don't use it.
Mass destruction.
So we're going to pop that in there. If you want to get your hands on the recipe to our Clover Tropica Pineapple Mojito, SMS the keyword Clover 233728. There we go. I think that should be enough.
And then?
And now, if you don't mind passing me some lemon juice on that side, pop that in there. Just divide it nicely.
There
That's
we
it.
go.
And we have some zest as well.
Zest, dit is nou vir die ouens wat nie weet nie, 'cause I didn't know, but this is gerasperde suurlemoen.
Yeah, exactly that. Only the peel. Okay.
Obviously net die peel. Dis die gerasperde
It's
skille, dis
just the
net die
peel.
peel.
It's just the peel.
And it's
nothing
very
more,
appealing.
nothing less. It's very appealing. So half the pineapple goes in there, just like that. You want to get some more lemon peel in there.
Zest.
Fantastic.
And
Okay.
And then?
And then we're going to top it up with our Frankie's Cloudy Lemonade for a bit of a sparkling twist.
Jy het al hierdie gedoen, né?
Just once, maybe.
Okay.
Actually, no, it's the first time. There we go. Stay inside. Okay. So we're going to give it a bit of just a stir to make sure that all the ingredients ming together very nicely. Do a little dance while you add it. That's okay. It's okay. Just like that. And then let's not do that.
Okay.
And whilst we are not making a mess, the keyword is clover. SMS that to 33728. Slice of lemon for both of them. And what about a little mint leaf? Just like that. And you're good to go. And you're good to go. We're going to taste it in just a little bit. Look. I don't know what just happened, but it's okay. Here's a quick look at those steps once again.
Are you looking for the easiest way to sip on the sun this summer? Why not try this tangy and exotic Tropica pineapple mojito recipe that is sure to become a firm favorite as a smooth treat for some and a daily drink for others. For this recipe, you'll need 330 ml of Tropica pineapple flavor, 250 ml of Clover Frankie's Cloudy Lemonade, 1 cup of frozen pineapple pieces, fresh mint, zest of 1 lemon, ice cubes to serve, and lemon slices. Add pineapple pieces to a mortar. Muddle until broken down. Add mint leaves. Muddle to release essential flavors. Pour into serving glasses. Then add ice blocks. Next, add Tropica pineapple. And top up with Clover Frankie's Cloudy Lemonade. Add lemon zest and give it a gentle mix. Add lemon slices and enjoy.
Made with love by Clover.
And there you have it, a beautiful Sip the Sun pineapple mojito made with Clover Tropica pineapple. The keyword is Clover. SMS that to 33728.
En wat kry jy dan as jy het SMS?
Then you get the recipe to make this. You see now.
I see and I taste and it's lekker.
Let's cheers and it's refreshing, right?
Very.
That's very nice. That's very nice. So good.
Zest.
You lost your zeegstokkie.
But this is much better.
Is that a good replacement for it? Okay, we'll do that. Clover for the recipe. SMS that to 33728. Dola in studio. Give her a round of applause. She is brilliant.
There's nothing smoother than the fresh, cool taste of Clover Tropica. Made with love by Clover.
Ewan, what must we do with the peel again?
Rasper die peel van die suurlemoen.
Okay, well, we're taking a quick break on that note. After the break, we've been lucky enough to have Mango Groove in studio for us, setting the tone for what's going to be a beautiful Wednesday. They're still here. One more performance. Don't move an inch.
Okay, here we go, Claire.
When the stars no longer shine, when the sun falls from the sky, I will be forever yours. You will be forever mine. There's a special star that shines every evening in your eyes. There's a special star that shines each time I hear that lullaby. There's a special star that shines every evening in your eyes. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, special star. Special star. Oh, yeah. Ooh, special star. My special star. Oh, yeah. Ooh, oh.
feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso right here on SABC3. It's your Wednesday morning. It's so good to be hanging out with you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now, just before we wrap up the show, here's your daily positive message brought to you by Nairobian.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so our message for the morning is be in love with yourself. Start each day by telling yourself something positive, embrace what makes you different, and surround yourself with people who love and encourage you.
I like that.
I love that.
It's straightforward.
Fantastic.
It's straightforward as you start the day off by telling yourself that you're going to be positive, by finding things that are interesting and different about you, embracing those things instead of shooting yourself down, and surrounding yourself with positive people. And I do that every single morning. I'm lucky enough to be around like Leanne.
Yes,
And-
you are.
And you and...
Why did you hesitate for a second? Oh, it's only been how long, Uncle Tabsy?
But listen, that's what it's all about, positivity. And on that note, we hope that that sets you up for a beautiful Wednesday. It's hump day. Go embrace your uniqueness out there.
Oh, well, I can't think of a better way than to end off the show. Claire and Andrew with us, too, from the Mango Groove Band. They are with us in studio. And it's a very special show because there's also the 30th anniversary concert that's taking place at the 8th and 9th of March. It's taking place at Monte Casino at the Teatro Theatre, so make sure you get your tickets. They are available at CompuTicket. But I'm going to leave it up to you because you are about to perform one of my favorite tracks. It's Special Star.
Thank you so much, sir.
When the stars no longer shine, when the sun falls from the sky, I will be full, ever young. There's a special star that shines each time I hear that lullaby. There's a special star that shines every evening in your eyes. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, special star. Special star. Let's clap your hands at home. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, special star. Special star. Oh yeah, everybody. Ooh ah, ooh ah, that's beautiful. Ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, yeah yeah. Ooh ah, ooh ah, special. You're amazing, guys. Thank you.
That's what I am talking about.
Come on now.
Wow.
Make sure you do not miss them at Monte Casino the 8th and the 9th of March. Those tickets are available at CompuTicket, so make sure you get them before they're all sold out because it is Mango Groove's 30th anniversary since the release of that first album, Mango Groove.
You guys can fill in for the rest of the band.
Can I just highlight the freak out moment of Doba Dola right now? Would you want
my CV sit ek het saam met jou gesing.
It was our great honor, actually.
Claire, thank you very, very much. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
congratulations on that huge milestone. Doba Dola, thank you very much for joining us as well. Sorry you lost your safe stalkie, but it's okay. We can get you another one. It's all good. It's been a wonderful show. Thank you very much, guys. Have a beautiful Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.